A, B, and then who's number 8?
We're starting at 7 handed.
We're starting at 7 handed. Have you got a must move with that? You guys want one of these?
Good
I got
God.
6 of them.
AB is 42 years old.
Alright. Who's AB?
He's a kid that if he wasn't in here all the time, I'd card. You want the release? Are you release guys too?
Tyler of all things.
5.1 inches to the gallon. I mean, it's a good one. Give me that stapler.
So good?
Stapler. Should we be freaking out at this point?
I have no idea. If we should be, I can't imagine I'm the only one who wants to be. So, in case.
Yes, sir. Matt asked me to be there at 7:30. If that works for you.
Okay, sure.
Good enough. Do they have cards in here? We dealing? Okay.
Getting money today for this thing.
What?
We're getting some money today.
What am I missing?
What?
Getting some money today?
We're taking time.
Yeah. At the start?
Right from the get-go.
God damn. Got him.
Savage.
Got him.
Did we not yesterday at all?
Not once. Maybe once. No, they got to take it on a half hour.
I don't know if you heard my backup artifact yet.
Which one?
So, Stonewall Jackson, at his funeral, so he had a parrot. He had a parrot.
Yeah.
At his funeral, his parrot was in attendance. They had to eject the parrot due to it screaming family
Oh, wow.
repeatedly.
What's up, John?
We'll get it done.
Are you guys ready? Cards are in the air.
Okay, good.
Who's
Yeah.
number 8?
8 is Dean.
8 is.
The 8th player.
Who's the 8th player? Are we playing 7-handed?
We're playing 8-handed. Oh, Danny W. came back. I'm sorry, you didn't get that message. I sent it to him. Danny W. is in the 9th seat.
Right.
He came in just to make sure there wasn't a seat open, and there was a seat open. So. All right, do you guys need another chair for here?
Hold on, right?
Do you guys need another chair for the door?
Wouldn't hurt. Good job, Leslie. Good job getting them going.
What the hell? That magic touch.
Yeah, it's finesse game, bro.
You guys have a good night.
It's here, Ron.
Alright, I gave you 6 that I had. You got AP that just came in. Starting
Alpha Bravo.
Danny W.
Did he play yesterday?
He did.
I'm actually going to try and get Ali to come in.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He's on the phone, but he's in the next game. Maybe he'll come in for like 20 or 30 minutes and just
Commentator play.
commentate. He's hanging out and talking.
No, he when I talked to him about playing 5-10 unlimited, he said that'd rather be shot in the face or less. So.
I thought I did open it. Oh, maybe I froze it again.
How about them Vikings, Fred?
Yeah, I'm
There you go on that. discussion yesterday?
We just come online at
Like 10 minutes till, 5 minutes till, or whatever.
Nobody caught anything. At least nobody caught anything
Do you need
yesterday.
anything else, Harry?
I'm good. Are we good? We good?
Yeah. As far as I know, we're good.
check
We got players. I'm putting them in the lineup.
for 3-6.
Title upgraded.
So Harry, when we go on, can you be listening on your phone?
I got it. I just didn't have my note yesterday. That was embarrassing. I was hoping that you never spoke about it ever again.
All right. A lot of words.
We got plenty of shit to get this guy green with us.
Harry?
We can let the headphones go.
So here's how this hand got really fucked up.
You still in the same hand?
Yeah, she just played, so I'm gonna make quads
I'm
here.
not sitting there.
Like,
Put the queen up.
Don't want that
I'm
chair.
going to. I still need the 10-6 or
Just
10-9.
get there, huh?
So we almost made a cardinal sin. We had the mics open.
I was gonna say just unplug it and then the power and then we'll plug it back in. Oh, you just turn the game up.
You guys don't want this seat?
I don't care.
You don't want that one?
Do you?
I don't give a fuck.
The
You want this one?
Sure. I sat in it yesterday. I don't recall being uncomfortable. So.
Waka 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 waka.
Deep in the tank.
Should we test our voices now?
We can't, right?
We can't. It's gonna be on the thing.
Well, yeah, but we did it yesterday. I'd rather do it now than 2 minutes in. 2 minutes till.
Okay.
Versus each other. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, fine. Here, you,
You're 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yours are on.
You gotta turn the gain up. Or the main.
Wow, I just heard all that.
yeah.
So they've been on here.
Hello, world.
You can hear us?
Test for Craig.
2,
3. Test 1, 2,
4, 5.
7, 9.
You heard all that, Harry?
It's good. You're a little low. I don't know if that's your position with your mouth to the mic or you. He's good. That's good.
How do you like me now?
All right.
That's live. We know all about it.
All right. Unplug it from. Because then
We don't want to adjust any.
we don't want to adjust it. All right. Just unplug it from that, and then 5 minutes, a couple minutes before we plug it back in. sure there's no time for it to boot up. Or
All right, I've got a staple something. We're good to go. That's me.
Hand off the grid right here.
Go for Craig.
One.
7. All right. Testing 1, 2. Hello, hello.
until you start, and I'll put it away.
Just don't eat over the table. That's true.
Can you still check some chips on the rack?
Yeah, what do you need?
Give me a Dutch C20. Gonna give me a 20 pair. No worries. Thank you.
Anyone else, Jake?
Thank you.
15? I mean, sorry, 11.
I was like 15.
11? Variance.
You had the tree.
Yeah, I know, I was giving it to
I was
him.
gonna say something, but she walked away.
He goes, no, that wasn't mine. I'm like, you guys okay? All right, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, just make sure everyone knows. If you look up and you see me, you're gonna occasionally see me walk around the table. Look up just to make sure I'm not looking at you. If I'm looking at you and I go like this, it means your cards are not being read. You need to move them in and out of the space. In front of you is marked little black hashtags.
We're taking time.
That's
Oh,
the
we're
mouth
taking
of the
time.
cards.
Yeah.
So
We didn't do
the
that
cards
yesterday.
need
No, we didn't.
fall.
Never done that before. But you guys took rake yesterday, right? No, no rake. Oh, yesterday was no rake? No rake,
In
no
front of
time.
this hashtag.
So every half hour, playing
Where
something?
area that your cards can be read.
Yeah.
If your
Right.
cards not being read, you need to move them out and move them back in. Here's great, guys. $7 sign. And then shuffle up and deal.
How is it being read?
You put them right here. You put your cards right here. See
I
these dots?
understand that part. I'm just saying.
There's RFID chips in the card.
There's chips in the
There's
card.
sensors in the cards, yeah.
Hey, AD, can I trouble you for $7?
You meet the guy who's going to 3 tonight. You watched me last night, you know. Good for me then.
Did you go back and watch the whole thing?
No, I mean, I like flip through it. I mean,
That's funny. This dude who was sitting here, he never had anything. The big, the fat
7
dude,
seed?
yeah. Royce.
Yeah, that's the guy I folded to.
Yeah, he never had shit.
7 times 7 is 49.
Man, I was way off
56.
on Sean, the guy sitting there.
What do you think?
I thought he was playing super tight, and he was
There's
playing
your my
like
friend.
9-5 off.
You're gonna get
and
your.
Yeah, I was playing junk too just because of Andrew.
Hey, Jacob.
A little bit.
How are
Like,
you?
I called 130 with Jack too. Just because Andrew was in the pot.
Yeah, I mean, I did that a couple of times. But
I only came because they said it was rake free.
Huh?
I only came because
Well, I found the knit.
Never charged.
We played last night.
Alright, good luck, guys.
I will.
Vince, let's do it.
Round of straddles.
No, but let's wait for another hour and see what happens.
So what do you want to have?
Round of shots to start
I
tonight,
wanna-
as we did last night.
That sounds good.
It's my first time.
It
so I
ended.
Just give me garbage all night, all right?
You got it,
I don't want to play. I'm here for the
You're not
Hollywood.
gonna play that garbage.
Welcome. It's Bellagio Poker on the Strip. I am your
What
host,
is the
Dallas
cameras?
Scott. We got my co-host, John Hardini. I was going to call you Hardini
Well, it's
because
30-minute delay,
your
so
Twitter is the Great Hardini. And of course,
Hello.
what they watch is
the
30
Director of
minutes in the
Poker
past,
and
so
Race and
yeah,
Sports Books Operations, our boss, Craig Long.
Thanks for having me. That's the best you've done out of the gate.
Is it wrong?
No, you.
Oh, okay.
Eight
So
out of
far.
5. 8 out of 5.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, it was strong work.
I wouldn't think about that. Wow, let's,
Exceeded expectations.
we should have a fun table tonight.
So I think these guys are gonna. We got a couple repeats from last night.
Yeah, Nick in the 3 seat, and I'm sorry, Nick's in the
Nick's
1
in the
seat.
one hole.
Yeah, and Danny in the 9 seat. Danny's a wild card. He likes to play a lot of cards and mix it up. I think everybody remembers the Jack 3 offsuit from last night. We have the crown. I call him the clown prince of Bellagio. Alex in the 6 seat.
That's a
the
self-proclaimed name on him.
yeah. He's
Are you allowed to give yourself a name like that?
when you tell jokes as bad as he does, you can do that. So I think it's going to be some interesting conversations tonight. And I expect these guys to mix it up a little bit. I don't think there's going to be a lot of ABC poker being played.
First pot of the night, we got the mystery hand on in the 4 seat with Big Mike.
So it didn't matter if they were up or down. Okay. Because you would have lost that. Because of that.
And Jacob's
What
calling
he did is he doubled
with Ace
down,
Jack.
and then he rebought to 2,000.
like, we can't be on. I'm charging it, but I'm not on it. Okay?
There's nothing worse than making your hand on the river and the guy checks back to you, right?
Well, when the old scare card comes off,
Yeah, like
top
3
2,
years later, he
happy to win the pot. Good start.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a Jack of Diamonds on the river. That makes a lot more sense.
I think Mike's our first non-reader offender for the evening. Right
Yeah.
out of the gate.
We're going to get that fixed, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back. Coming off a big night last night, the meetup game last night. with
It was
Andy,
great with Andrew Nemi and Brad Owen.
Brad
It
Owen.
was,
These guys jumped in the box or jumped in the booth here with us.
there was a lot of action in that game
Yeah,
last
for
night. Troyce made a huge bluff and
Actually,
got slow rolled. What do you call it? Net rolled.
Net rolled.
Net rolled. By Roto.
If you're not ever folding, then
Yeah.
why
then-
wait?
Why wait?
why waste our time?
I get it.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is the second episode of the second season. We were on last night again with the meetup game. Got some repeat players coming on here
Yeah.
tonight.
Who else
10,
we got
6.
today?
Oh, we got AB. 42 years old. He's in the 7th seat. 42 years old. Grew up in LA, but he's a Bears fan. Like, that should be,
that
like,
makes
not
sense.
allowed. Well, maybe LA didn't have a team his whole life. It's been a while since they had a team. I got to give a shout out to the Minnesota Vikings for dismantling the New Orleans Saints today. I'm a huge Vikings fan.
Yes.
See, looks like everybody's in for 1,500 except for
15 and 2,000, and Big
yeah.
Mike's in for 800. It looks like 900.
See, we're getting the cards fixed. You see our friend Leslie there explaining to Mike he's got to put his cards on the reader so everybody at home can see what he's playing with. Dean's got a pair of 6s here under the gun, and he folds.
No, he's still looking at him.
Oh. You like 6s under the gun, John?
I like any pair under the gun for 200 bigs. Opening the 2 6s.
I like that play. I like opening as opposed to flatting there. If you get 3-bet from behind, it makes. Oh, Nick is back to his old shenanigans. Ace deuce of hearts, calling the raise pre-flop.
Jacob with a solid call, third in on the button with the suited ace.
I don't think there are any more aces left in the deck, though. I saw somebody else fold one. There might be one, which makes me like Nick's hand or Dean's hand a lot better here. This is going to be an action killer flop.
So it looks like we're not continuing with last night, where every hand flopped, every pocket pair.
Every
flopped
prop
a
pair.
You get a set. You get a set. Everybody gets a set.
The only hand that didn't flop a set. No, Jacks even flopped. Nick flopped a set of Jacks last night.
There were a couple spots. Brad played a pair of Jacks kind of cagey and got away from it on the A side board.
Yeah, when he got bluffed by Dan
Yeah.
Sarga last night. Brad's probably not happy we brought that up again. And just, I mean, to be fair, since we're not making Brad happy, we should talk about Andrew getting all his chips in on the flush draw drawing dead. Just so.
He wasn't drawing dead.
Oh, he's drawn it to running fives.
He had running fives and a running straight
eight.
flush draw.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the 8 would counterfeit, yeah.
Or, you know, you can always, pray for the running deck gets fouled somehow. You get your money back. There's always a prayer.
November, right?
So other new players in the game, we got Cody Hayden in the 2 seat. He claims that he just really doesn't want to go broke. That's his poker hopes and dreams. It's just to stay in action.
Cody's he's a regular player here at the Bellagio. He normally plays the 5-10 game.
A familiar face.
Yes. Cody's one of the good guys in the in poker. He's always comes in. He's always having a good time. Even when he's losing, he doesn't get upset. He just takes it for what it is. It's part of poker.
Stoic.
Nice.
So we got Nick opening here. And Big Mike put in the 3-bet, $120.
You know why Nick's calling here with King 10?
Because he calls?
No, because last night we were after the cast, we were talking mess about him not calling with the King 10 on the button.
The last hand of the
last
night?
hand of the night.
The King 10
and he's in the
suited?
same spot here against Ace King.
The difference is here he's out of position against Big Mike with the ace high.
Right, he did have position last night, but he said he didn't want to look bad and go broke on the last hand of the night.
Small C-bet takes it down for Big Mike here.
So did you guys get to hang out with Brad and?
We did
after
last
the
night.
game?
Very briefly.
We didn't go home and go to
those who
bed
are
like
listening at home,
for you older guys. We didn't go home and go to bed.
listen.
We went out and hung out at the bar with those guys, and we talked about a lot of the way hands were played and good conversation. It was actually a really good conversation with those guys last night. A lot of those. Oh, go ahead.
I have it on good authority that the dangerous duo of Brad and Andrew were still at that bar at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah. This is Vegas. It's not really that strong. Like, I mean,
Well, I mean, they put in a nice session.
yeah.
They probably had a lot of editing to do today.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
So
I can't actually wait. I want to see
I can't wait.
Andrew's blog on this.
Sure.
Or vlog.
And a couple of these guys in the game were in our must-move game last night. Is that correct?
Yeah, Dean was in the must-move game last night.
So he came out for the meetup game.
You're right.
He must-move to get in, but no seats came open. So Dean and is Dean the only one?
No, I believe Big Mike was in the,
Big Mike was in the
the
must-move
game
game.
last night also. Yeah, we only had one seat. Danny vacated his seat, allowed to play it. So we do have a must-move tonight, and it's a 3-blind game as usual here at the Bellagio. It's 5-5-10. Last night, it was kind of an interesting dynamic because we talked to the players afterwards.
Hold on. We got a pot. Danny defends his blinds with the 8-7 to Cody's open. Cody flops top pair.
We don't.
C-bets.
That doesn't surprise us from
And
Danny.
Danny makes the open-ender on the turn. Check.
Oh, Danny's going to lose some chips. Or Cody's going to lose some chips here. Is that a heart, though? So that might kill the action.
Well, Cody just lets it go. No sweat.
Wow. That's pretty impressive lay down.
Yeah.
You make trip jacks, but
Credit-
the heart flush
credit
came
for
out.
Jack
Maybe
or better. Yeah.
he bet the flop and then checked the jack back on the turn, and the flush came. So he did represent like a flush draw.
There's a lot of hands beat him, for
Yeah.
sure.
A lot of the guys we had on
But no,
last
no,
night.
that was a quick fold out of Cody.
It
there.
was. It was like a snap fold. A lot of-
Decision was made. Hart River not putting any more in, I guess.
a lot of guys last night were saying they're normal 2-5 players. So playing the 5-5-10 game was kind of big for them.
Yeah.
And one of the things Rodham talked about with the 10 high flush when you were talking about the net roll is that he said, like, this is a big game for him. He's never lost. He doesn't want to lose his entire stack in one pot.
AB raising first in here with the king jack offsuit on the button.
That's the way you're supposed to play that.
Danny never found a hand he didn't like calling. Nick comes along with the 2 deuces, 3 ways to a flop for about 120 bucks.
Danny's got the mystery hand here.
Another misdeal, no set for Nick.
I think we used up all the sets for the season.
We might have.
3 checks and a board pair.
It wouldn't surprise me if Danny had a 7 here.
He's taking
We've
the
seen
lead
him.
either way. He can rep it perfect enough.
Nick can't think deuces are good here, and AB's probably folding unless he tries to make it.
7 was a good card for my hand.
We believe that, actually, Nick or Danny. We believe a 7. Actually, any card that would have came off, we would have believed was a good card for his hand after last night.
The instructional hand rankings card on the turn.
Yeah.
Good for Danny.
We haven't seen much out of Alex yet, but I really feel like at some point he's
The
going
night
to
is
be
young.
his normal Alex self.
Moving on in the lineup in the 3 seat, we got Jacob Wilson, who used to play Magic the Gathering full-time competitively, and I guess he decided there's a little bit more money in poker. Calls himself an aggressive beginner who likes to trap, which...
I think Jacob at one time was ranked number 4 in the world in Magic.
Wow.
And he was number 2 only to one of our producers, Harry, and Magic ranking, and some other type of Magic ranking. So he was quite accomplished in Magic.
Yeah.
A lot of poker players.
They make that progression, yeah.
David Williams was the first one that we knew about. He took second in the WSOP. Was a big Magic player.
We got a pot here. Big Mike opens first in, King Jack of Diamonds. Nick calls out of the second $5 blind with the 7-6 suited, and Cody with the 2 black aces putting in the 3-bet out of the $10 blind. Makes it pretty big.
240. That's a really big bet there. It almost looks like a steal, right? Because it's so big.
That's pretty good squeeze play opportunity. Unfortunately, might get the job done. No contest. Anyway, talking to Harry about Jacob calling himself a beginner who likes to trap. He thought that was a very, very amusing description. He thinks he's a little bit more of a seasoned poker player than that. Time will tell. We can form our own opinion.
I think in 5-10 games and bigger, it's a little harder to trap. You got a lot more skilled players.
I don't know if I agree with that. The level of aggression gets higher.
I took the Chiefs on.
We just saw Cody full trips on the river.
No, he had jacks up.
My only regret is I didn't put more.
Jack, Jack 10. He had ace 10.
No. He had ace Jack. Oh, well, then that makes I misread the board.
It makes a little more sense.
That makes a lot
It was
more
still
sense.
an impressively quick fold.
Yeah. I thought he had ace Jack.
I'm pretty sure he just decides that if the heart comes off, he's not putting any more money in.
That was an easier fold than I thought then. I misread the screen. Because ace Jack there might have made a crying call.
Anyway, talking about bigger games being harder or easier to trap, you know, obviously the bigger the game you get into, the higher the level of aggression is. You know, you can give people more opportunity to hang themselves, I think, the bigger a game you play. Obviously, exceptions to that rule are everywhere, but
Bet with the mystery hand.
yeah. Danny opened on his button. Mike defends. Looks like Mike put on the $20 straddle here.
Did Mike defend there with bottom pair?
Yeah, sure did. Got a check on the turn.
I mean, he's got a hand that has showdown value here. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I'm really crazy about this bet. What does he do if
he gets called by worse 100%, or gets called by better pretty much every time?
Well,
which is what happened. Mystery hand is unclear.
Yeah, that was. I don't
Good
like.
P to 4 though.
He had a hand that had showdown value
Joe,
with the
he's-
pair.
but
ace
he's-
kicker. I
He's
don't-
turning his hand into a bluff there, isn't he?
Right. That's what we're talking
Yeah.
about. It's making that value, that so-called value that there was, turned his hand into a bluff. What does he have there that he didn't have on the turn when it was checked to him that he couldn't bet there? Interesting hand to play.
Pretty sure if Big Mike got that one back, he'd play it a little different.
We'll find out later on tonight, won't we?
We wish we knew what he had as well. We're with you, chat.
Is it not good?
Because you watch at home, sometimes when the players' cards
really?
don't show,
Okay.
it's usually
So
a result
what I
of
was-
them
last
not
hand was
putting
good,
the
right?
cards
You
on
can see-
thread.
It's player error.
Player
Yeah.
error. So
And actually, if you heard the stream before, our wonderful Leslie was explaining to the guys how to put their chips on their cards on the readers, but apparently somebody wasn't listening. Danny.
We got
Look
two
who
limps.
has joined the chat.
Who we got?
Sean McCormick.
The
Poker
Boss. We
Who
got
is-
two limps here to Nick on the button with the 2 sevens.
Is the-
Speaking of the Poker Boss, there's been some cryptic declarations on social media that there are some big announcements forthcoming out of the Aria Poker Room. We're waiting on you, Sean. Whenever you're ready.
Poker Boss, whatever you want to.
I'm dying of anticipation.
That's like, how they do go right before the commercial, coming up next, and then it's always a letdown.
The cliffhanger.
That's how we feel about it. Ever since he got the
Hold
grill.
on. You're going to change it from Poker Boss to Sean relative disappointment.
Right,
McCormick?
right.
Is that what you're trying to do here? I don't think he's going to take.
We're going to call him the big letdown from now on. We're going to see a flop here. Ace 10 of hearts.
No, this is a limp raise from AB. He limped first in, folded to Nick on, or one limp in between to Nick on the button with 2 sevens. AB is
We
3-bet
know that Nick
for
from
190.
last night likes pairs in position.
Yeah. Who doesn't like pairs in
position,
position?
right.
Come on now.
Poker Boss just says, but wait, there's more. Hashtag stay tuned.
Hashtag impatient.
He's just going to call the 190 here.
Taking a flop off head up in position here with the 2 sevens.
Nick was the master of flopping sets last night. Oh,
That's not a bad flop
No,
for
he's
the
got to
2
love that.
sevens.
He's got to love that flop.
A lot of strength represented from the limp raise circa 2006.
He's
from
got an
AB here.
overpair and a gut shot.
Dare you call it an old school?
And he's got the 7 of diamonds in his hand.
It is now, what year are we in now? 2017? I'm pretty sure you can call the ump front limp raise old school. We'll make it 9-handed for you, Sean. Come on down, buddy. No, actually, we'll just let you deal the game. How about that?
Yeah.
Small continuation bet.
Doesn't help anybody, but it might scare Nick if AB bets again.
Let's see how many barrels AB has in him with the ace 10 suited. Unfortunately, B-Dub, no Andrew tonight. If he swings on through, we can get him on the
But we
microphone
might have
here.
a surprise guest commentator a little bit later on.
But wait, there's more.
But wait,
Yeah,
there
there's
is
more.
more. We're not the only KG.
Oh, there's a suck out. I think that Nick should have bet the turn when he was checked to him. I mean, what is AB repping there that he can't bet the queen? Unless he makes a set of queens. There, he might check that back. He might check back with that.
I don't know. I don't mind a check on the turn with, jacks plus. Honestly, no matter what the card comes off.
I'm saying, you like Nick's check on the turn?
Yeah.
And it
If
costs him the pot.
you think AB, yeah, but if you think AB is going to possibly fire another barrel there, you
But
give the
but
opportunity to
AB
do so.
checked the turn, so how's he gonna? I mean,
Yeah, no, I'm saying
And then
AB checks turn, Nick checks back, planning on calling any bet on a river that's not, ace, I guess. Passive way to lose a small pot.
So, speaking of Poker Boss asking for a seat here, apparently for our PLO week, him and Joey Ingram are going to come on and play.
Can we get this deal locked up right now?
Yeah, we lock
Poker
this up.
Boss, are you coming on for the PLO?
Him and Mr. Joey Ingram.
it's a good thing he has a job to go back to because I got a funny feeling he's gonna lose a lot of money in that game. Dean's got the king jack of spades here. You saw him open with sixes earlier, so this probably falls in suit for him.
Nick
Oh,
with another pair.
He loves it. He's got the fours. Remember last night? That's how he stacked Andrew Nemi. Flopped the full house.
Looks like Jacob's taking the high variance route here with the ace-queen offsuit out of the small blind. First show on the lock, so is Joey and Paul Campbell if the seat is available. Well, that makes 3.
And Randy
Paul
Oles
Campbell.
Randy Oles playing in that game also.
Paul Campbell, for those of you that don't know, is the tournament director of ARIA. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So basically, they're just all coming on here to get some free publicity.
Basically.
Yeah, okay.
Poor Nick's going to have to play another pot in position with the pocket pair. No, just
They
lets
fold
it
it.
go. Respect.
Freeze.
I'm surprised he doesn't peel there for 140, 160 bucks.
And Poker Boss, you got to shave that ridiculous goatee before you come over here. We can't put
house
you on
rules,
TV.
right?
Yeah, house rules.
House
You can't come over here looking like that.
Will you tell us after the soul?
It's a classy joint here at the Bellagio.
You gotta tell us after.
What we
right?
could do is we could
After
get
the
a
game
nice Craig Lump mask made
There you go.
and make Sean wear it while he's over here. When in Rome.
Actually, Craig and I were actually discussing earlier that maybe one of us should play. One of us is going to play in one of the games.
Maybe one of these games for viewers at home that have been listening to us ramble on about different various topics of poker hands.
The bright
see us
side
play
is
poorly.
the bright side is I can't read the chat berating me if I'm just playing hands poorly as compared to analyzing them poorly. Craig's wanted
We'll
to
take
grow a beard
screenshots
for
for you.
5 years. Don't hate. Is
He's
that
right.
true?
He's right.
He is right.
Now, is it because of policy or is it because you're just stone incapable of doing so?
Policy here.
All right.
I'm
All right.
put-
I'll
don't-
give you the benefit of
Don't
the doubt.
question my capability.
We should congratulate Craig.
Yeah.
He's getting married.
Soon.
Yeah. He just won't tell anybody what day.
You'll know one day when I come back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun flop here.
married?
So there's a
That would be the flop. Are you saying his marriage is going to be a flop?
We're gonna work on segues.
sorry guys, we're having a nice conversation about marriage and a poker game broke out. I beg your pardon.
Big Mike's got top pair and Alex has got an over pair.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
straddles on, Alex opens, Mike defends, flops top pair against the just barely an over pair of Alex.
Let's see what Alex has to say about this. Oh, Alex is check to Alex.
Alex opened and then c-bet the 2 9s. Mike check calls with the 8s up. That's a fun card. Picks up the diamond draw. Scare card for Alex potentially. Let's see if he fires another barrel correctly here. Nope.
So check back. But Alex is probably calling about anything here, right?
Yeah, just trying to get the showdown with some
So
good
we assume-
equity with the 2 9s.
Alex usually he plays the room on pretty good Garius. We figure we have some quite a lot of
Give him
table talk on
time. Give him
tonight. We'll
time.
get going.
He's gonna,
He's well known for the kind of the dad jokes, more or less.
Dad
is what's his wheelhouse.
Oh, they're bad. Like some of them we can't repeat on the air, but they're pretty bad. Like
So Alex got another street of value out of Mike by checking back. Mike bets the blank river. Probably confident he has the best hand. 2 9s good.
I don't know. Like again, it's a hand that Mike has showdown value with there. Like I don't know that.
Well,
If Alex has got ace king there, he might check that back on the turn. I mean,
did you see the bet sizing? That's what I'm curious
Yeah.
about. Because it might be that he's doing the old bet less so that I don't have to call more.
right. With the old blocker bets.
Again, we're going old school. We're going limp re-raises and blocker bets here on
Right.
BellagioPOTS.
That's true.
Cody's
Cody
going to
waking
raise
up with
first
another
in
hand.
here.
He's played 3 hands: ace 10, ace king, aces.
Big Mike playing another one here. Suited king on the button.
Mike
Calling
likes
30.
Mike likes to get involved in
He
pots.
didn't fly
doesn't
out
he?
here to fold.
What do you say, John?
And Dean
Don't
called
come
with the
Vegas
9
full?
deuce
Yeah.
of spades. Good flop for Cody. He's getting.
Great flop.
He's gonna get paid here by Mike.
Big Mike did fly in from East Brunswick, New Jersey to play on the show here. Paralegal / poker player, he says.
Speaking of New Jersey, shout out to Tab and everybody at the regatta. They do an amazing job over there.
It's a part of the world I have yet to get up to as far as poker is concerned.
Their poker room is massive.
Looks like Mike is going to...
They have 90 tables, or 110 tables, something like that. It's a lot.
Is Mike moving it all in here? I think our graphic might be a
Yeah,
little
but Mike,
incorrect.
Mike went all in, but Mike
Yeah.
is short here. He's only got like 300 behind.
Yeah, the graphics says he's got 775. I guess that's
No, I
not
don't
quite
think
correct.
That's probably what he started with, I think. And
Ace is
Cody
up. We're
makes
gonna
2
win all the
pair,
money.
and Mike is done.
Nice hand.
Rebuy. It is allowed. We do encourage rebuys. Those are that's the thing I hate to say most of the table. Players checks, chip runner.
As you can hear, our dealer, Nathan Pease, has been on a handful of our streams calling for game attendant to bring Big Mike his chips, reload.
Reloading for a dime.
Now, so we got breaking the action here. I want to give a shout out to the whole team that it takes to put on BellagioPOTS each week.
Yeah, this is not easy. It takes, first of all, like, we don't have a setup room, so we have to set up all the cameras, all the audio, all the computers, everything. So Harry, Matt, Jason, Leslie, the 3 of us, our normal floor staff, who has to accommodate because we're all supervisors and now we're not available to them on the floor, so they switch their schedules around and come in and help out.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, it is. It's just from top to bottom. And they're always coming to us, hey, this person wants to play, this person wants to play. How do we get
Which is great because that's a lot of interest here in the room.
Okay, I see one hand and a flop. Look,
Yeah.
Mike's involved in another hand.
Cody opened first end at $30, and
He's got pocket 4s.
got defended. Trey flop for the 2-4 is pretty interesting.
Yeah, Cody's not
texture.
like that flop.
Oh, Mike's got a hand as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just one person playing this hand.
No, I'm pretty sure that
Mike's got 6-4.
I'm pretty sure the
He's gonna
9's got
fold.
chips. Or 9's got cards.
Danny,
yeah.
Danny gonna peel here. Come on, Danny. Play like you did last night. Danny asked us, he played every hand he had last night to at least a turn. He actually flops a straight draw and folds. And then he's like, why would you guys think I would call there? Because you called every other hand, sir. Like,
Now C-Bet wins it 3 ways for Cody.
Gentlemen, time please.
again, this is BellagioPOTS. I am your host, Dallas Scott. My co-host, John Harden, at The Great Hardini on Twitter. I am at Dallas Scott 73. Craig Lump, our boss, he is at Bellagio Poker. If you want to be on the show, just hit us up on Twitter at Bellagio Poker. Hit us up with your name, and we will get back to you on Twitter. Our next week, we're off for 2 weeks. Our next
We're back
stream
in 2 weeks.
Fair, right. We're off next week. We're back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 10, 20, 40, no limit?
Yes, on the 24th and 25th.
$1,500 minimum, 10, 20, 40 blinds.
If it wasn't insensitive, I would challenge all those players in Florida to come play with us right now. Because they always think they have the best poker in Florida. I would like to see them come hang. I'm just saying. But I feel like it might be a little insensitive to say that since they're probably repairing their houses and stuff.
Because you kind of made a face.
10-8 of spades from Cody, my absolute favorite hand.
Can't imagine he's going to open that one up for
I actually have a 2-ounce silver piece with the 10-8 of spades engraved on it. That's because I love that hand so much. So I'm disappointed in Cody for folding that.
I don't think he cares that much. Big Mike opening the 2 deuces here, first in. Danny going to defend with the Baccarat Natural, 5-4 offsuit.
When was the last time Big Mike folded?
Unfortunately for him, about $1,500 to go. Bad break the flop top pair in that spot, though. This is a.
Was this a bad break the flop top pair in that spot, or was it calling the raise with king 7?
Speculative call for $30.
Against somebody who's shown that he's not played. He's been tight so far. And
it's so early. It's hard to tell, you know.
Looks like Big Mike actually has the best hand here with a pair of deuces. Nick's bets $40. And
checks to him twice, and he's going to stab and pick it up. Way to pick up that orphan money in the 1 seat there. Nick off to a good start, second day in a row. If he can only get some of these pocket pairs to turn into sets, he'll be on easy street.
I'm actually a little disappointed because, like, the first 7 pocket pairs we had last night flop sets.
It was unreal.
I think 4 of them turned full houses or flop full houses too. Like a lot of crazy pots played. All right, Jacob is under the gun with the 5-3 offsuit. Easy fold.
Guys, bear with us. We're trying to sort this table audio
Mike finds
issue
a
out
fold
at the moment.
pre-flop. Here comes Alex. Nah, yeah, we know
Four
Alex.
high. Dean right behind him with the better flush draw. If he finds a call here, he could win a big pot.
And he's got position. He's on the button. He's going to call.
Danny comes in with the other 4-tray suited.
Yeah, so Alex is probably not getting bailed out here with a full house.
Nick with 10-8 suited. Only one that might find a fold is the guy who's going to get $1,000,000 out of the big blind with the 10 deuce. Cody's got to call.
No, he's going to play the Brunson.
Huh? No, it's just
okay,
open for 30 and the world calls.
All right.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be a good pot here between Alex and Dean.
Dean's got the gutter as well as the second nut flush draw here. Couple pairs of 10s.
This is going to be like... It's going to be an interesting played pot here. Like,
yeah. Alex chooses not to c-bet into a field of 4 other players.
But he might check raise this flop. Like,
It's
I mean,
very
that
possible.
wouldn't be out of line for Alex.
Yeah.
No, he just calls. My prediction is that Alex makes a pair, even though we know 2 4-3s are gone.
Pair, gutter, second nut flush draw against 4 high, a wing and a prayer. Check, check.
Alex is drawing stone cold dead here.
It's a fortunate blank for Alex, unless he
Alex
chooses
can
to
bet and maybe steal this pot
yeah,
here.
it's very possible. He is the pre-flop raiser here. It's a cagey narrative.
Yeah.
200.
And he played this like he might have
bet.
flopped top 2 or
I mean, he could have the king
a
jack
set of
or
10s
whatever.
or something here. Yeah, or
There's
the
a
king
lot
jack
of hands he
is-
could have.
Yeah.
Pair of 7s into the muck. Alex adeptly picks it up with 4 high.
I don't want to jinx Alex here, but he tells me he never loses.
He jinxed himself.
Never?
Huh?
I mean,
No, he says he never loses. He said our 5-10 game is the best 5-10 game in the world. But I got to be honest with you, like I see him cash out a lot, so like I don't know, you know, like
I prefer that narrative to the guys that say that the game is terrible and yet they're here every day.
right.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Well, you know, there's logic, and then sometimes there's poker.
I mean, they can at least make like a minimum rank. Like 7
Big Mike.
Big
under
Mike,
the king
can he
line.
find a fold up
That's
front?
2
He
in a
can.
row.
Especially out of the area. Talk about rate. This is the least possible rate we have for inside the game. In places like main area, he takes $7 per game, even if it was much smaller than this. $7 every player.
Folds all the way to Cody with the 5-4, completes and Jacob checks. Blind versus blind, head up.
Let's see 2 5s.
King 10-9.
First one to bet wins.
Very likely. $10 bet wins all the money.
Wow.
I went to look at it. I was like, well, I can't see what
The min bet always makes the hand look powerful,
Some guy,
right?
I mean, some people yesterday had to say something like, clearly peeling them, and you have to peel them up so far that like,
Okay.
Is it 5-10 game break by the time
peel it. There we go. Somebody tells us what they are.
Yeah.
Alex is under the gun here with a 10-3
You
offsuit.
just hope they're telling you the truth. You flip them over and you're like, I swear that's not what he said.
Dean looking
Dean's got a
down.
couple jacks.
Pocket 11s.
He's going to flop a set here. I feel it because we haven't had one
First
yet
one of
tonight.
the night. I think we're due.
Yep.
What about when Nick's got the 2 5s behind him?
No, Jack 6.
Uh-oh. Anybody coming with him?
We know that Mike hasn't folded a lot of hands, but there
10
he
9.
goes.
No contest. We'll never know if that set was coming.
He folded 10-9 out of the big blind for $20. I know he's out of position with that hand.
You're getting $30 from me every time there. But I
We
might
saw
just-
him call
I
a
might
raise
just
with King
pair
7. I mean, like,
Oh, that's the difference. He's. Oh wait, no, yeah, he was on the button in that spot, so a little different.
was he on the button? I thought-
Yeah, yeah. Cody opens the ace king, and 2 to his left on the button is Big Mike with the
King 7.
king X suited. Dean might be going for 2 in a row here with the king queen offsuit +1. The graphics show him +2, but because of the 3 blind structure, he's actually +1 here. Not that.
Danny's folding. Nick with the 5 deuce of clubs. I bet if it was 5 tray of clubs, he would have played it. The hand plays favorably for him.
That might be a needle. Alex defending, and let's take a heads up.
You know what's
flop.
funny thing? Like, it wasn't intended to be a needle, but now that I think about it, it was.
That's a needle. We'll see if Dean finds the C bet here on the Jack 8 deuce. Looks like $50. Alex not
Alex
gonna
is gonna
continue. Again, guys, for those of you looking to play on the show later, you can also just type !POTS into the chat. It'll give you some information, an email link, I believe. Shoot us a line. We'll get you on the show. Take a look at our schedule. It's
Next shows are the 24th and 25th of September. It is 10, 20, 40, no limit hold 'em.
And 2 weeks later, we got another 5-5-10 game.
I can't wait for the PLO game.
PLO game's gonna be interesting.
I'm looking forward to it. Guys, you can also fire us an email at poker@BellagioResort.com.
Or hit us up on Twitter, whichever you think is best. We'll get back to you. Again, we've been
We're
filling
at
seats.
Bellagio Poker on Twitter. Or you can just hit John up on Twitter, the Great Hardini. Or Dallas Scott 73. Or just call Craig in his office. The number is 702-693. What's your extension, Craig?
Can't
We'll
remember.
never know. That's an adeptly handled deferral there.
We do have poker room rates, just so you guys know. It's only requires 6 hours of play. Who's coming to Vegas to play poker and not play 6 hours a day? I mean,
So Dean decides to enter a 3rd pot in a row. Under the gun this time, elects to just limp it. Jacob in the 3 just limps his button behind him with the ace-10 off.
is that a 6-5 off? for
It looks
Alex?
like 2 completes out of the $5 blinds from Alex and Mike. AB knuckles with the Jack 4. 7, 9, 10. Pair of 10s.
7-9 queen.
7, 9,
Rainbow.
queen. That means we got a gutter for Alex. We got a gutter for Big Mike.
What if flop quads, bro?
Gutter for Dean.
Kings?
It's the gutter show.
Alex doesn't want to make history.
Maybe I'll
Oh,
move my chips.
no, he
Maybe
does not
that's
want to
why.
make history.
Like, I'll get more here.
Boom.
Ouch.
I know that reader works.
Yeah, it's true.
Did Dean see bet on the flop?
No.
Just check through.
Yeah. No, somebody bet because everybody folded, so there was a bet on the flop.
Locking it. Like my chips.
Because 2 people folded. This is
Alex looks like he's going to raise it straight away here.
Okay, sorry.
basically clicks it back 60 to 140.
This is a
Okay. Dean's going to have a easy lay down here.
everybody flopped a gut shot. And
Do you like the bet 3-bet out of Big Mike here? No. Call is
Jack
declared.
10 beats him. He's got the bad end of the straight. He's going to pay this. I mean, he's going to win the hand because
He's just going to check call the end, you think?
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I'm still 1 and 3.
Still want to play.
Yeah.
Not the best
Alex
card.
here calling for the 3 club.
Yeah, and that's an action killer. Paired board on the river.
Wow. I thought Mike was reaching for chips to
I think
bet
he's
straight
still
away.
I think he's trying to
think he
decide
is.
if he wants to bet. This actually might not be a bad bet on a Mike here because he's representing.
It's a interesting spot when you go
I think if he,
bet call on the
Yeah.
turn and then 2-7-0 is a bet.
but he played that like maybe 2 pair afraid of it straight, and Alex pays him off.
20 hands, sir.
Huh.
So glad I folded 5-6 now. I had 5-6.
Alex
so if I
gets
would've
away
went-
for the minimum. Played it pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's like what did Dean bet here? 270.
270, yeah. Bet.
That's a tough.
It's a big bet.
Yeah.
Biggest pot of the night so far was limped pre.
Not bad, but that's what happens when everybody limps free flop, right? 2 people make a hand, and
It's just, you know, you got the 3rd or the 4th nuts. How much money do you really want to put in?
The wrong pair.
we always see that Alex is telling him the wrong card paired. That's right, Alex.
Cool story, Alex.
But those are the lies I tell at the poker table, so I can't be mad. Like,
No, the lie I tell in that spot is I turn to the guy and I say, nice hand. You know,
right.
it's like I mean it. Danny here up front opening with the mystery.
We're gonna fire Danny from this table. He should know better. He was here last night.
I think he did get schooled by our floor supervisor Leslie for not showing his using the ringer
Danny's got the
properly.
2 queens
oh,
under the
Danny's
gun.
got queens.
Dean's
And
gonna
got ace
defend.
jack. Yeah, of course he is. I mean,
Heads up to a flop.
You got 10 of last hand?
it's not a bad flop for Danny's hand. I mean, what's he think? Dean's calling with. And only thing he can
Pretty
put in is
automatic.
ace 10.
Pretty automatic C bet here. 60 into
$90 pot.
90-ish.
2/3.
Gonna get a peel out of Dean here.
No.
Anyone have a guess?
10-9.
Danny's
Shows
gonna
it.
show.
Yeah, don't bluff, guys. I don't try and get fancy.
I think Danny's trying to change his table image from last night.
Yeah.
Everybody went and saw the stream for last night. They think he plays a
Yeah,
little wild.
he is a hair wider than Queens Plus under the gun opening. At least he was yesterday. Yeah, but you know, who knows? Maybe he's gonna switch it up. Time will tell.
Our 5-diamond
I don't want to think
poker
about
classic is coming up the day after Thanksgiving, November 24th. It's my favorite
Day
time of
after?
year.
Doesn't it
Day-
start before? What day is Thanksgiving this year?
3rd.
Really?
We are kicking off.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Harden doesn't own a calendar. I beg your pardon.
We could get you one.
I don't want one.
We got to work, so you better need to.
We'll
Well,
get
no,
you the.
it's
We'll,
just day by day. You want me here? Okay, I'm here tomorrow.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
we'll get you one of those fireman calendars or something.
first in Cody with the ace jack offsuit here. AB just folded the king queen out of the $5 blind. Is that correct?
Yes.
Wow. Discipline.
I'll give you some action.
Danny's gonna peel with the
Now that's the Danny we all know and love.
Here we go.
what is
Here
that,
we
the
go.
5-gapper.
Suited 5-gapper.
Yeah. Yeah. He only.
Oh yeah, 5s. Yeah.
Yeah. He played the jack
5 or
tray
6.
offsuit, but he would play the jack deuce suited, so I guess the 8 and 9 gappers are still in the wheelhouse.
I think he's playing in between, or AC deuce.
Oh, man.
I think I probably lost more money playing that game in my life than I ever have played poker.
What's that?
In between, or AC, some people call it AC deuce.
The name that I know it by is just a stream of expletives, along with, can I write you a check?
That's right. Do you have a debit card reader?
Josh Aryeh on Twitter a couple weeks ago had a picture of some guy's basement pool table with a bunch of guys playing that game, and it was just a pile of cash. And a bunch of people frowning. Go figure. You know, it's one of those, it sounded like a good idea when we all got together and agreed to do this, and now there's one guy that just feels awkward.
Because you know it
and
goes.
then there's 8 guys that are furious.
How come we don't spread that in here?
Dallas, please don't give our mixed game players any more ideas. We can hardly stay on top of the games that they want to play nowadays.
Yeah. Nick's folding.
So we got the open from Cody and 3 callers. Button, small blind, big blind.
I actually like the fact that we can't see Danny's hand because we know he's a wild card.
Dean here just smashed it. Queen deuce of diamonds.
And he checks.
I don't know if Cody's going to c-bet into 3 opponents here. Nope.
I'm going to say no.
Checks all the way to AB on the button. Does he take a stab? No.
He's got a gut shot. There's 3 dimes more. I don't know if I like checking non-nut flushes.
That's a good spot for a check raise, maybe. Cody here picks up a gutter. Dean's going to go ahead and just lead the queen-high flush here.
This would be an easy fold for everybody. There's just too much out there you don't want to try and defend against.
Winning pots and complaining out of the 8 seat. Nice, Andrew. Missed the check raise.
There's nothing like that guy that loses 1 pot, right? But he's won the last 4 in a row.
I can't win a hand. Give me a setup.
And everybody at the table is looking at him like.
Yeah. Short-term memory.
That's got to be the setup. Has got to be the.
Not my favorite. Don't get me started on people asking.
Let's get you started.
No, I'm trying not to cuss right now. So
I won't be able to keep my temper.
Yeah,
I won't be able to mind my language if we get started about setups. You want a setup? Fine. It's my pleasure to get you a setup.
But it does not help.
Jacob just mucked the 2 5s up
under the
front.
gun. Yeah.
I think that is.
Who was that, Jacob?
Yes. I think we're gonna have if we see a flop here, that he's gonna miss the set.
You can't trap the set of 5s because he says he likes to trap. You can't trap the set of 5s if they're in the muck.
Oh, I thought you
Very true.
Disappointing.
that was better. I'll just go fun with that.
Fold the Dean. He opens the queen 10 off.
Nick's defending here with 8-7. Yeah, 100%.
That's a raise. That's a 3-bet from the 8-7. Cody just lets go of the 2 6s. So we could add a beautiful 6-5 blank flop 3 ways.
No, a 6-5-9 flop would have been like the most perfect flop.
We don't need the 9 to come off straight away.
All right, you get it on the turn. Yeah. Maybe the river just to.
I'm going to throw the set across the room if it comes 6-5x.
I'm playing like 700-ish more, a little more.
Dean's got a position. He's thinking about playing this hand.
It's a little exploitable if you decide to open the queen 10 on your button
And then fold.
And don't fold to the 3-point-x, 3-point change 3-bet. Please don't come 6-5. You're losing sleep.
I think it's coming.
6-5-4.
Not a bad
we
flop.
might get we might get some action here. Dean's Nick 3 bets, so he's got to represent here with his bottom pair. But Dean has flop top pair.
Pair and open-ended, pair and gutter. Jack is disaster here. Although I don't know how big a pot they're going to be able to play with the naked 8 versus the naked.
Nick bet 120.
Small lead into the potty 3-bet.
Is Dean thinking about a call here or a raise?
Dean raises to
250.
Oh.
That's another pretty much click back. 120 to 250. permanent
Nick could
bet
probably
size in
find the
here.
call here and just hope the
How are
jack's
you
not
going to fold for 130? That's you're
Yeah,
getting
right,
laid a
right.
phenomenal price with a pair and open-ended.
580, 130 for 585. It's a really good price.
You might accidentally have the best hand against the ace queen here. Raise all in.
Wow.
Bet 3-bet all in from the pair and the open-ended. I like it.
Wow. I love it.
He's not up against a great hand. He's still 60-40, so.
And he's really got to like, Dean's got to be in a spot here, right? He just can't like his hand
It's a
anymore.
small raise. I mean, he's getting 2-1 basically to call off.
Oh, he called
it. $500.
You're supposed to like
Twice?
know your hands first and then ask.
No, you don't reveal your hand before you decide to run it twice.
You can do whatever you like.
Never show your hand before you decide to run it twice.
He doesn't want to show, so.
So run it twice still. Who cares?
Twice is good.
Twice is good. Here we go.
All right, run it twice.
That's Dean.
Queen's up. Seven's up or eight's up.
Oh.
2 pair and a straight.
Take the money, sir.
Bad river card for Nick there. He was getting half his money. He was getting half the pot and his money back. And
He's got a handful of cards.
I'm going to blame that one on Nate. That's Nate, the dealer's fault.
Always blame Nate.
Yeah.
You saying you're rooting against Dean here? Is that what you're declaring?
I had a pair and open.
I was hoping that Nick didn't have to rebuy.
Get more money on the table. Let's go.
Something.
Nothing like watching the dealer just ship
Players
stacks over
checks.
to another player, though, right?
Table 9.
That's the yeah. It's great when somebody else is saying it, but not when I'm saying it.
He's got 1,000.
Bet 3-bet all in with the pair and open-ended. Nothing wrong with it.
No, he actually thought he played well.
Play it fine. Especially when he starts the hand 800 effective or so.
Yeah, I think if he has a little more chips there, Dean folds. But for the price, Dean was really priced in.
Well, I don't know if Nick's really gonna go buck wild with the third pair and one card straight. Draw
Right.
there
I mean,
if
he
he's
did
playing
3-bet pre-flop, led the flop. He gets raised, and now he ships.
Yeah.
I think I might be able to find a fold there with top pair queen kicker. Like I don't know what Dean
Yeah.
thought he had.
Is that good?
Keep in mind he did 3-bet the 8-7, so the onus is on him to try and continue to
Right.
keep up the narrative for sure.
Especially when Dean doesn't like re-raise on the.
We got extra chips just to keep it going. We had brought extra chips in case.
Alex says he already brought extra chips with him.
Yeah.
I will say this,
John,
Alex
looks like
was.
I got a fan in the chat here, John.
What's up, Jason? How you doing? How's you guys getting a lot of rain in Atlanta?
Nick
What we got
flops
here?
middle pair
Is this
and a flush draw.
four-way limp
Yeah.
pot. Big Mike
Jacob's
was
got
under
an
the gun?
open ender. Big Mike's got top pair. We might see some action here.
Bet call. 3 ways to a turn. Boom. Wheel. No way to
Yeah. Jacob's got to love his hand right here.
wheel pair flush draw.
Mike should be able to get away from this hand, but Nick is probably not getting away, right? Pair and a flush draw is a hard hand to fold. But he might.
He might be a little snake bit after the
Right.
last one.
But Jacob has played pretty snug, so maybe Nick's going to respect that. Nope.
Shows them all in for $60. Nice little needle by the graphics program here. He is a little deeper than the $60, just so you know.
And we just gave those guys credit.
So, Jason, when you went to the grocery store yesterday, was it possible to find milk and bread, or did everybody buy it out because they lost their mind because a third of the tropical storm was coming through?
Way back in like 2000 or 2001, I was living in Atlanta, and it snowed. but like it didn't. Like I'm from Minnesota, so it didn't snow like it was in Minnesota.
No, it's abject chaos when there's a dusting on the
Right,
ground.
right, and a little bit of freezing rain. They literally shut down half the city.
Yeah.
All the airport, every government office, all the banks were closed. It was like we might get ice on the power lines. We got like it was.
Here's a
People were
little-
going to the store to buy generators for like a one-day event.
Yeah.
It was like
Everyone lost their minds, bought all the gas, bread, and water. Too funny. All you got to do is sit at home and watch Comedy Central, and everything will blow over. Oh, what am I talking about?
bad
Comedy
choice
Central.
of words there.
BellagioPOTS. Welcome to the stream, Jason.
Yeah, our next shows are going to be September 24th and 25th. Again, if you want to be on the show, hit us on Twitter at Bellagio Poker or on email
At Bellagio
poker at BellagioResort.com. Jacob's got ace-5 of diamonds here in the blind.
Does it fold all the way to him? No, Danny opens the cutoff.
I think in the future, guys that don't put their cards on the reader right, we should tax them. and we'll donate the money to Rubicon, the charity that Andrew Nemi and them have, to help out the hurricane victims.
Yeah, I believe the same command is still available, ! Hurricane. Team Rubicon is a group that gets first responders together with military veterans. They do disaster relief wherever it is necessary.
That came from our guys last night.
Yeah. And they got $1,200 last night to start. It was-
I think by the time they managed to stumble on home after their late night endeavors, that jar got up to $2,000 or so.
Nice.
How much they get you for, Joe?
Enough.
Nice needle. Nice needle.
No, I was just curious. I was just wondering if.
We're not going to talk about that. I'm happy to give.
That's why you carry small bills in your wallet, John. I'm just saying.
I don't want to put it out there for the whole world to see.
Did you run that by the missus? Is she mad? Or?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what's mine is hers and what's hers is hers. So, yeah, of course she's upset.
Okay.
But no.
She's actually going to have to work a
she
full shift at Aria tonight because of you.
No. She got Destiny 2. She's sitting on the PlayStation. She won't move except to feed the dogs. They were gracious enough to give her a day off. Unless Sean Mack, if you're still in the chat, you know, if you want to call her in, make her slave away one more evening. Big Mike just completing the Michael Jordan suited. Alex is going to raise his option with Queen 5.
See, Alex, I like Alex. He likes to play cards and mix it up.
Dallas, you got a question. Where from in Minnesota? I live in Shakopee, like 5 minutes from Canterbury Park.
I've played the first 15 years that Canterbury was open. I played about 60 hours a week there. But I'm from Bloomington. Interesting flop here. Mike's flopped the gutter. No, Mike flopped 2 pair. Alex flopped the gut shot.
Blind versus blind.
Yeah. I think I was telling somebody earlier how I lose a lot of money in blind versus blind hands. That's the thing.
We got something amusing for you guys coming up here in a little bit. I refuse.
Stay tuned.
I refuse. Pick up a flush draw with the 2 pair. Is that right? it's quality. Come on. We're arguing if something is fit for media consumption here.
But how can you disagree with that? Because you're getting married. That's what
advertising a property. You know, you can just step out for a moment when that is the discussion. Stay tuned, folks. We got a nice little tidbit of information coming for you.
I like when Craig tries to play boss.
So with Queen High here, Alex is.
He's not bad. Oh, he's gonna let it go.
So Big Mike check raises the flop, bets the turn when he picks up the flush draw. Alex just can't bear to take another street off with the Queen High gutter.
But the bet up by Alex on the flop with the gut shot, he had a continuation bet there after he. Unfortunately, he didn't put Mike on the trade deuce.
Yeah. Tries to catch fire there on the turn.
Need a few drinks first. I don't mind. It's okay.
I think there's a discussion of beverages at the table.
I'd buy it for free.
Yeah.
this guy just fire his address off in the chat?
What's his name? Elder 8?
I think that's not of our concern.
Well,
You guys
you want to
might-
be
we'll mind our
in
own
the
for a minute.
you want to be in the game. Tweet us at Bellagio Poker or send us an email at poker@BellagioResort.com. Probably not a good idea to give your personal information just out randomly on the on the internet.
I flop him. Nice to see you. Welcome.
Friend of yours?
Yeah. And a nice guy to boot.
Oh, the whole king 10. This is the hand that should just fold and chop the pot already.
Mom, watch.
Come on, flush.
Grag, grag, grag.
First one the bet's gonna win.
Cody's got the C-bet opportunity here and takes advantage. Send me your social security number. Too soon, boys. I don't think that's the current events we need to discuss here. Zero cares given here in the chat. Dallas, we play the Omaha together at times.
Oh.
You know him if you saw him.
What's his name?
I flop him. I don't know if he wants his name out on the stream or not. So
I love our 2040 Omaha game. I think it's the best Omaha game in the entire world.
send me your social security number. Oh God, too soon.
Lifelock. Lifelock.com.
We messed up. We'll freeze your credit for the low price of $10. You know, there's a lot of guys out there with like the 230 credit rating, just screaming, "Joke's on you." Big Mike folded to him with King X on the button. Lets it go.
I'm betting Alex is going to raise here. He's going to play a pot.
On that game, I don't think you can chop.
There it is.
First
Thank you for
in.
not disappointing Alex.
I don't chop
AB.
AB
Ace.
showing some discipline. The king-queen offsuit fold from under the gun earlier. The ace-deuce here.
People in the chat demand action. Cannot hold hand chop.
This game might. AB is normally a 2-5 player. So this game might be a little bigger than he's comfortable with playing.
Yeah.
So that may affect some of his decisions here.
Yeah.
Nick's got the king deuce offsuit under the gun. Doesn't feel like getting froggy. Cody's got a jack 9. I think it's CJ's. Big Mike's got a king 8 suited
He's
here.
got
We know
King X every hand, man.
we know
Can't
he
let
likes
them
to
all
play
go.
the suited king, so that doesn't surprise me that he's coming in with this.
You're in the cutoff. How are you supposed to fold King 8 suited? Alex,
With the king 7 suited.
he's got all options
And position.
available to him here. Elects to flat.
No. Did he?
No, he raised it.
He
Yeah.
raised.
So it's an open to 30 and a 3-bet to 55. That is a true min raise. Is it not?
Min
That-
raise
that
plus
can't-
$5.
that can't be right.
Mid-race plus
Yeah.
5. Yep.
Yeah.
The click.
AB's coming along with the 4s, but he's only doing that because he knows everybody flops a set on the stream.
I can only imagine this one's going to go off 4 ways.
Well, considering there's nobody behind the big line, it's
Well,
good.
no, Mike has the opportunity to.
He's calling. What?
Whoa. That was not the option I thought he was going to take there.
That was. Not sure what happened there.
Well, he flopped the second out flush draw on the pair board.
Too much.
Okay,
I don't know,
moving on. we got a pair of
Mike's already been
fours.
stacked once. Maybe he's a little gun shy here with some hands.
That,
you
that
know?
was interesting.
But
So
maybe
in
he's
the
smarter
chat,
than me because I fold a lot of.
Give the viewers what they want. PLO, no limit hold'em cash is boring. We've got some PLO coming up for you.
Later this season, about let's see, October.
It's October 22, 23, 5-5 pot limit Omaha. We've actually got a couple.
We're gonna have a few seats open, but if you want to play that game, you should let us know right away at Bellagio
Those seats are
Poker.
gonna fill up quick.
Yes.
Correct. We are gonna have some PLO streams coming up.
Yeah.
3-bet in position, C-bet it, and take it down here for Alex. No hand needed.
My chips will be
Found a way to put in the absolute minimum to get the second nut flush draw out of the way.
I'll tell you after it's over.
I'll tell you after it's over.
Slightly deranged. You can tweet at Bellagio Poker. You can email us at poker@BellagioResort.com. We'll get you sorted.
King 7.
You should have seen Craig's face when Mike folded that King 8 there for $25.
I'm confused by that one. I mean,
Craig's thought process there really was, I need an adult. I need someone to explain this to me. The answer is no to that question in the chat. You can get a ticket for consumption in public.
And then
Google it. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're not going to render legal advice.
Yeah,
I will tell you that it is legally illegal. It is illegal in a casino or a hotel. You know, the state's not gonna. They're gonna protect their interests.
I think our line here is just gonna have to be. Go ahead and Google that, bud.
Yeah.
Couple of days ago, I had a dream. I was playing a big game like this, and I had like 2 chips of 5,000 each. And I went to the bathroom, came back, they were not there. So I woke up in the middle of the dream, and I was like, wife goes, what's wrong with you? You're like you seen a ghost. I said, I need to go back to sleep and find the chips.
AB flopping the stones here.
Yeah, he's got the blocker for the straight flush. There should be nothing.
Did this fold to AB and he opened his button and he's just getting led into by Danny with the old 8 high?
Queen high.
Or queen high?
Queen high, no spade.
Is the table safe, but
God, what a great story.
I tell
we
you.
get some banter out of Alex.
Yeah.
You think he knew the microphone was right under his chin when he regaled us with that one?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, quality.
That's why we love Alex. He's always got a bad joke. He's always just.
So Danny pretty much pots this when it goes one check to him, ignoring the pre-flop razor, and AB just flats the stone nuts, understandably.
Yeah, it's.
I think
Is Dean trying to decide
Danny's just
if his
throwing
7
up in
high
his mouth
spade
right
draw is
now.
good? He decided it's not.
I can't imagine AB is going to get a whole lot more, barring
we can't prove that he took it.
absurd circumstances here.
Oh, that ends. That's going to end it anyway.
I don't know, unless Danny wants to.
He's going to fire.
He's going to rep, you know.
He's going to
one
rep.
big spade.
He's going to rep AB's hand. Is what he's going to do.
I know someone who left chips in his back bag that could put it in the bag. Up in the corners, it got taken with 10K in it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're sitting on the shitter. What are you going to do?
Let's try it. I had similar experience, but it wasn't a stone. I actually got off the plane and went to use the bathroom. I was like in really bad. So I walked to the bathroom to realize I had like 8,000 in cash in my pocket.
Okay, just so you guys know, we are on a 30-minute delay.
I dropped it over there. I didn't realize
Alex
that I was in my cab. Got back and dropped it in the back. In the airport.
Understandable raise out of AB. Unfortunately, when your opponent's got squadoosh, you just end it right
You know,
there.
Alex tells a lot of stories. I don't ever know if he's telling the truth or truth or if it's another joke. Like it's
Well, you know, if he's not telling the truth, how much of his day do you think he spends fabricating these sales? You know, does he spend more time contemplating hands he's played in strategy, or he's like, what BS story am I going to tell today?
Unconfirmed though, yeah. I mean, they could be 100% accurate.
Yeah. I want to live in a world where the stories he tells are true.
me too. Me too. And again, some of them aren't fit for air, but yeah. So guys, we are on a 30-minute delay. The players are not allowed to have cell phones or anything like that per Nevada Gaming Commission. Actually, we're not even allowed to have cell phones. So like,
Some viewers at home know we're watching on the same delay. That
right,
they
we're
are.
watching
So
on the
we are
same delay.
outside the control room.
We are live, but the feed to the table is delayed.
So we got Big Mike opening the 2-7s and the world calling behind. Cody with the
Cody's
2-8s. Does he try and squeeze the 5-way? No.
I like either squeezing or calling here either way. Like,
I'm not folding.
Come on, break it to a card.
and he's got
So
position here,
everything,
right?
they left the,
I can't see what the button is. But like,
No,
Is that
Cody's out of the blinds.
okay.
Dean's on the button here in the 8 seat.
Oh,
Finally a set here on BellagioPOTS.
what took us so long? Missed deal.
Got a gutter from AB.
They're going to be very valuable here when they get
That's
over
about it. This might be a tough one. Cody's just going to go ahead and lead into 4 opponents here.
Well, I love this lead because the board is too wet. I mean, there's a million straight draws, flush draws out there. I like betting this here.
You live here, Jacob? How long?
AB lays down the gutter.
Yeah. From where? Canadians are cool.
Oh,
Danny
wow.
just rips
Wow.
it in.
Danny's
And we
all
haven't seen
in.
his hand yet.
See it momentarily.
They run it twice.
In Oakland.
I'm betting that's Danny.
Hayward.
King high flush draw. One time, he says. Oh, nope, twice. Wake up, Nate.
Yes! Hold, baby, hold.
Wow.
Yes!
That is a double through. Flush draw gets there twice.
Wow.
Thank God.
Do you remember that?
I think back when I was dealing, like one of the craziest hands I ever dealt was
Palace.
guy gets it in on the flop with a flush draw against top set, and they run it twice, and I put 4 diamonds on the board. Then I got cussed out for some reason. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, that happens.
The best run of twice I've ever seen was in the big game. They were playing no limit deuce to 7, single draw. And they play with the cap.
Right.
Before the draw, 2 players get the cap in. One player is drawing 1, the other guy draws 1 behind.
well, you got to
They-
explain. The cap, what was it, a 1-3 game, so it was 30,000 apiece?
Yeah, they put in 30,000. The betting is done. They're basically all in, and it's low ball draw, draw 1, draw 1.
And by 1-3, I mean 1,000, 3,000, or
Yeah.
1,500, 3,000.
They make the blinds look like 501K, whatever. Anyway, first guy turns over his 2 draws, and on the first draw he makes a pair of 5s. Second draw he makes a pair of 8s.
They weren't even expensive sunglasses.
The other player looks at his first draw, says no good. Looks at his second draw, says no good. He was drawing to a 10, paired the 10 twice. Pair of 5s good for half, pair of 8s good for half, playing low ball. Wow, unbelievable. Stack sizes were off.
I think the craziest hit PLO. This is why I like watching PLO. John and I were talking yesterday. It's my worst game. I can't play this game. Omaha 8, I love. I can play PLO. I can't play it.
Is this a picture of our must move game here?
No, that's a picture of our. No, it's a red chip game. It's 2-5.
Okay.
I actually dealt a hand once. 3 people all in. 2 guys have a wrap and opposite. One's got a heart flush draw. The other one's got a diamond flush draw. They miss everything, and a pair of 4s wins a $35,000 pot.
Wow.
I was going to say, like, I feel like travel grinders.
Danny with some freshly found money here is opening his button with the A7 offsuit.
Which he should. I mean, that's pretty standard, right?
It's fine.
I'll give you action still.
Jacob should be calling here out of the big blind.
You deserve that.
Maybe re-raising.
This looks like a 3-bet being sized out here. Raise and take it.
Alex looks like he's contemplating another story.
Which one do I tell? Do I go PG-13?
No, I actually had to warn Alex before. Like, just keep him broad sensed. And remember, there might be 13-year-old kids watching this. Alex is getting ready to actually open a pizza restaurant here in Las Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
I do regret folding to you earlier.
There are many a poker player opening a restaurant these days in Las Vegas. We got Cindy Violet opening a vegan place. We got Todd Brunson opening up the Roma Deli, right?
Do you open that or buy it? I'm not sure. I really don't know.
You probably regret any hand you folded to him.
The one it's probably my thing I love most about Vegas is it's amazing.
We talk about that all the time when we travel.
Yeah.
I was a little bit suspicious.
Almost disappointed because there's so much good food in Vegas,
Yes.
even off the strip.
Yeah. And the best thing about it is
Well, you can afford it when you get off the strip.
Yeah.
it's 24 hours a day. Like,
Well,
like
that's the other thing. Yeah.
Oh,
there's
God.
no pressure. Like
I get off work
midnight.
at 4 o'clock in the morning
Right.
normally. If I want steak and lobster, I can just, there's steak and lobster or
Right.
pho or Thai. Like,
We went for a late night dinner after the fight. It was like 12:30,
yeah.
and there's everything in the world open.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then I go back home to Minnesota and everything's closed at 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Last call.
Yeah.
Last
what's
call
that?
is so bizarre. There's a 4-way limp pot here.
If somebody offered last call in Vegas, people would lose their minds.
You know,
They would just
I get that question here a couple times a month. You know, when's last call?
when the building falls down, I just
So Cody leads this flop with a pair of sixes, and Jacob calls behind with a better pair of sixes, picks up the flush draw on the turn, and they go check, check.
and they're gonna chop
Big old
maybe.
fat ace here. Showdown for half.
Chop chop.
$10 winners apiece.
Top it.
I sucked up this time. This is nice. Feels good.
The other question I like when people come in the program is like, what time do you close?
Yeah, when the Waffle House closes, buddy.
Well, they're closed in Florida.
There's a interesting thing as far as hurricane recovery stuff goes. One of the best measures of that is Waffle Houses reopening. They try and, even if it means having to bring generators in, bring in a new supply of food, they try and be open as soon as humanly possible. And so it's kind of the inverse of the canary in the cage. So I'm hoping that the Waffle Homes are open now, but we shall see. Is the 7
That's
Deuce
the
game
one
on?
thing we don't have.
Waffle House?
Yes.
You got to go to what, Phoenix, the closest one?
Yeah, that's the closest
And
one.
it's
out.
not a good one. Well, we got the Steak and Shake now. We got the Cracker Barrel.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I really love Waffle House waffles though with lots of butter.
Oh, my God. You're killing me.
Or the pecan waffle.
You're
with a
killing
ton
me.
of-
Can we stop talking about food?
I got
dying.
a Midwestern for you. Bob Evans.
Hey.
Bob Evans is more like south. Like we don't. They're not Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin. Like it's a more southern thing. Yeah.
5-way flop here. AB open first in. We've got a
Nick
gutter
flops.
for Alex.
Nick flops top pair. Gutter for Alex.
Not a lot for anybody else. Alex
Oh,
is just
Mike,
gonna go
big Mike flop top pair with the 10 kicker. Needs some help to win this hand.
So we got top pair, gutter.
What's the 7 of diamonds look like on the turn?
3 ways to a turn. Pair, gutter, pair, pair. Big Mike picks up the queen-eye flush draw here. Nick in position with the best hand at the moment. How big does he size? About half pot. Mike just calling.
This is one of those hands that like you don't love, but you know you probably have outs here, right? Because 2 pair is probably a good hand. You have the gut shot for Alex.
I would hate to make 2 pair with Alex's hand there.
The worst thing just happened to him is he made the straight against the flush.
If Mike doesn't bet here, it might go check through.
No, Alex is betting if Mike checks.
Yep, I agree.
Is it legitimate? With his
I
hand
think we'll
on-
never know.
I don't think that's blinding. He didn't touch the table.
Okay.
That's a big bet.
Alex was questioning whether or not Mike actually checked there or made a checking motion.
Mike bets just over half the pot here.
I didn't see Mike make that motion.
I think he was reaching for chips and then just hiccup for a second. But Alex obviously would like to get the showdown as cheaply as possible, but unfortunately it looks like that number is going to be $350. It's a tough fold to find.
But he's got to know like the handy that Nick has to or Mike has to have here to bet is Queen Jack of clubs, Queen 10 of clubs, King. You know.
I don't know if you look back to the beginning of the stream where Mike took a couple hands that were 1 pair or so. There's an extended conversation going on about whether or not that was a check. Nate, the dealer's on top of it here. Alex is just disappointed that he's going to have to put more money in to get the showdown.
Nick can't overcall here.
Big Mike wins a decent one. I'm not going to use the A word, but Alex was trying pretty hard to plead a case for that being a check at a Big Mike.
What I saw did not look like a check.
I don't care what I saw or didn't see. You know, best interest of poker is Mike putting in a bet there with the queen high flush, as far as I'm concerned.
That's a very good point to bring up. Like,
what's in the best interest of poker?
Or the game at the time. You know, like it's. Yes, we have rulings, but there's always that little bit of gray area.
Oh yeah.
Like I had to make a ruling the other day where there was some confusion about whether or not a guy made 2 motions.
String bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the river. And the guy who was in the hand, the other guy's hand was like he did 2 motions. The dealer didn't catch it. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in poker. Is if you've seen something, you should speak up because
I agree.
It's in your best interest to make sure that the pot is right. And you're not giving the extra guy chips, you know what I mean, to play a hand against you. Because now you get in a hand with him, and now he's got a lot more chips. It affects the way he plays the hand, you play the hand.
Right.
Like, it's always in your best interest to speak up. So I asked if anybody else at the table saw what happened. Nobody saw what happened, so we allowed the raise. And after we allowed the raise, another guy says, oh, but that's not what he did.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
After you've made a ruling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nah, I
Just
can't
hand that guy a rack.
Yeah.
So Nick's opened here, gotten defended by Jacob on the button. Nick c-bets the queen high. Jacob calls with the small overpair.
Don't make me count it. It's going to be short. If you make me count it, it's going to be short.
If you make me count it, it's going to be short. That's cute. Second barrel here from Nick with queen high. Jacob believes the narrative with the king on the turn.
Was there a bet on the flop?
Yeah, Nick c-bet. So Nick raise pre, bet flop that turn, gets 2 sevens to fold.
Trust me, I'm Mike. Is there a must move game to this?
It's a good question. Is there a must move game? Probably is. Yesterday, our must move game got pretty much full, didn't it?
Yeah, must move was full, and you think the main game had a lot of action? The must move game was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are more people for that.
And you have $6,000 and $7,000 winners in those games.
Wow, that's great. Maybe we need to get a secondary on-location camera crew for the must-move game.
Matt just flipped you off in the production room. He was just like, if you walk back there right now, he's going to hit you with something.
Got a couple quality holdings here in the blind versus blind battle, the King 8 and the 9 deuce. Pair versus pair, blind versus blind.
AB makes the min bet, $10. He's getting looked up every time here.
I don't know how many pots you're going to win with the $10 flop bet. 2 pair versus 2 pair now. Trey's up. King's up. Top 2 against.
There's no way AB doesn't think he has the best hand here. Like, he's going to bet.
Yeah. Pray for a call.
I wouldn't have come. I would have just said no.
Easy fold.
Yeah, it's
You
a
say
good
so.
game. Yeah.
Pair heads up. It's hard to make a pair and hold.
Everyone is.
It's hard to make a set and hold them, too, but we had like 13 of them last night.
Yeah.
That was insane. Like, the two previous shows, like, it was ridiculous how many sets we had flopped.
Makes for compelling stream viewing. So, guys, once again, yesterday, Andrew and Brad had some charity stuff that they were trying to encourage. Team Rubicon.
Which is, it's first responders and retired military personnel.
Yeah, military veterans hooked up with first responders for disaster relief. So, obviously, with the hurricanes recently, various parts of this country.
And we hope everybody in Houston and all over Florida, we hope you're safe. Those of you who wrote it out got way more courage than I do.
Thank you.
It's exclamation point hurricane in the chat, and we'll get you to the link if you'd like to help out and donate some money. You know, $5, $10, all that helps. There's a lot of people down there who need food, water. Their homes have been destroyed.
Oh, that's right.
Got a little bit of a lull in the action here. A couple of blind battles, a couple of raise and take it's.
Is that what it's called? A lull?
L-U-L-L. I just chewed on my tongue while I was trying to say it.
A lull.
Lull.
You should be happy because now we get your new hand faster.
I want to see someone get busted up.
Yeah, but you want to be involved in it.
No, I'm perfectly happy being a spectator in this.
There was a hearing that. Oh no, I want to see people get busted up. Reminds me of a comment from this summer. These guys got a 300, 600 limit hold'em game going, and it was a group of guys that normally plays a little bit smaller. And the one guy turns to his opponent and he says, "You know what's nice about this game? It's just big enough. You know, you lose a pot in this game, it hurts. It's nice."
Yeah, that's why I don't play 300, 600.
Yeah, well, those guys were sadists, to say the least. So this is a 5-way limper here. We've got a gutter. We've got
AB's got a diamond draw.
Diamond draw, a gutter.
And the mystery hand from Danny.
Is there not a single pair? The 2 trays from Big Mike.
Yeah, but that should be an irrelevant hand. He should
Checks
be
all the way
folding.
to AB. Fires the 5-high flush draw.
Dean folds.
Dean
Danny
lets
folds.
the gutter go. I think 5-high is just going to get all the money. Oh, no, Dean called. Beg your pardon.
Oh, with the gut shot. Oh, he's got the open end. I'm sorry. Bad card for Dean.
Oh, yeah, he flops double gutted, doesn't
Yeah. The double belly buster since you want to go old school.
So Dean's going to check call and then lead turn. Drawing dead.
That's an interesting. I mean, he's trying to rep the diamonds. Unfortunately, the
weird-
diamonds are behind him, and it's
That's an interesting
line.
Yeah. Check call. Field gets down to heads up, and then you decide to lead into the sole aggressor who's in position.
Do you like AB's call here with the small flush?
Well, now that the river's the tray of spades, I do. Wait, 5 of hearts? I'm confused. I thought I saw the tray of spades.
That's what I thought I saw too. I just feel like when you have weak flushes, giving your opponents an opportunity.
You know, obviously it's a question of what AB thinks that Dean has. If AB thinks he might have him drawn stone dead.
So AB can't fold here though whatsoever, right? Because he called the turn.
100%.
He has no folding here, right?
Correct.
Because if you're going to call the turn, why are we folding?
I think it's the can I raise, or do I just get the showdown?
He's just going to call.
Shrug and call.
You're going to tell him I got 9 high.
You got to get here. But yeah, if Dean has a hand similar to what he has, and you make the flush behind him, there is precisely zero merit in putting a raise in. You just want to let the guy hang himself for 2 bets, two streets of value. But, you know, if you're concerned that the 5 high flush can get counterfeited, you want to protect your hand, raising the turn. I mean, 5 high flush is obviously a very vulnerable hand.
Not much alcohol consumed tonight.
A little tamer than last night,
Yeah.
per se, huh?
Very much so.
Again, last night we had Andrew Nemi and Brad Owen from vlogs from YouTube. Came on, brought their meetup game onto the stream. We had a blast last night. It was a good time. They seemed to have fun, the players in the game. They didn't know anyone that played in the game. Those were all just subscribers. So
It's nice to wake up with
Andrew and
aces
Brad.
under
It
the gun like
was great
Jacob
seeing
just did here. Looks like AB dropped some chips on the floor or something.
Going for a little walkabout. So once again, Dean with the King X on the button. Calls the under the gun open from Jacob.
Danny in his mystery hand again.
Nick coming along. Cody with the 5 deuce of spades.
Getting
$1,000,000 to 1 for
yeah.
the second or third time.
Ace 3-4 flop. Let's see what happens. We don't know what Danny hand has, but this.
Danny's been a repeat offender with the card rig this evening.
Yes. Oh, there he goes. He just double swiped him for us. Let us see. He has 6s. He's letting it go. This should be an easy hand for Jacob. Just nobody made anything.
Honestly, when you take the 5-way flop with the
You're just
2
glad-
aces
you're right.
and it goes bet and 4 folds behind it.
You're like,
Fine. Absolutely fine.
you almost don't like when somebody calls there because it especially people with position on you, it's a weird spot to be in. Because depending, you know, if the straight draw comes out, the board pairs on the turn, like where are you at now?
Obviously, it's all board texture dependent, but yeah.
What they say last night, if the card on the turn would have been different.
Oh, yeah, yeah. If things were different, things would have been different. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, in a perfect world, we'd all rather just flop aces full every hand and somehow have somebody.
Big Mike lays this deuce 3 down. He played the other one.
Disciplined fold under the gun.
Just in case you watch later.
Dean in the cutoff with the
Here, Alex.
What'd he say?
Just in case he wants to know what he had.
Oh.
Because AB's at the table, so he put him on the
Put him
reader.
on the reader.
So just marking
Nice.
the put him on the reader. That was funny.
Dean just limped the king 4 of hearts here.
Yeah.
And then Nick in the 1 seat.
Danny's got jack 4.
Danny opens after a limper on his button with the jack 4 of spades. Nick calls, Dean calls 3 ways to a flop. 3 suited hands. Squadoosh, 3 ways. C-bet
Of course,
from
Danny's
Danny
going
here.
to stab at it. He should, though, right? I mean, he
Absolutely.
used a pre-flop raiser. He's got position.
Yeah.
If he's got a hand like 6s or 7s, he's probably got the best hands.
Manufacture yourself a nice little pot there.
Manufacture like that. Because that's what poker nowadays is. A lot of, you have to manufacture hands. Like we talked about last night, it's not the same poker that was in Super System. You know, like it's
The game has evolved. It has developed.
you can't just sit around and wait for aces, ace, king, queens, jacks anymore. When was the last? I don't even know when the last time I saw aces or kings in a hold'em game.
Well, I mean, aside from Cody just now.
It's their honeymoon.
The guy must be kind of selfish.
He's showing her the way, by the way. He said,
This is what you have to look forward to.
that's how it's going to be for the next 50 years, baby. All right?
Raised.
It's not a bad thing when you're a bride over here, when you get married, if you're a poker player. Yeah.
Not very good hands. Like last night, we saw a lot more suited connectors, like the king, queen, pocket pairs.
Yeah,
It's
it
been
ebbs
a little.
and flows,
Yeah.
though. There was some stretches like this last night. Cody deliberating a 3-bet with the king-queen suited at his $5 blind, and does.
Big 3-bet.
So it's an open to 40 and a call, and he just made it 160? 180. Jacob might get out of the way. Back to Dean, who opened.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking
lets it
about
go.
it. I had those suited connectors, bro.
Danny's claiming he had the suited connectors.
Good luck, guys.
I think we got a push going through here. Our nice dealer Nate is going to be replaced here by Chrissy, I believe.
Chrissy donated all the tips she made last night to
Rubicon?
Rubicon, yeah.
I think she also added a little bit of money later on to get them to an even number in the jar. Stand-up act, that Chrissy.
I think we actually have a lot of quality people that work in this room.
I am proud to say that that is correct.
I would give Craig credit for that, but most of them have been here longer than he's been alive.
Yeah.
When did we hire you, Dallas?
A week and a half, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
That's a 2-5 game we got going on here.
Yeah, busy night here at the Bellagio. Monday Night Football's kicking back up.
Skol Vikings.
Go Vikings.
Skol, S-K-O-L. It's a Norwegian thing you won't understand.
I missed it.
They're
Thought
the
it was-
Vikings.
Wouldn't it be Snooze Vikings then?
No, Skol.
Skull's something from the good old boy region of the world.
Has a different meaning from where.
Yeah.
John's from.
Yeah.
I'm thinking wintergreen. The long cut.
Oh, man. He just took me back to like being 14 or 15 years old. Like,
Trying to cut weight for wrestling.
Ugh. You know, you have those things that you did when you were a kid that you just like the smell of it nowadays just
That's
makes
one of them.
Yeah.
You know what does it for me now is I had a spring break one year where all we had available to us was tequila and grape soda, and I can't stomach the smell of grape soda even to this day.
Who puts tequila in grape soda?
Look,
Like that's got to
when
be
you're-
like the nastiest.
When you're
color.
like
How old were you?
16 or
16,
17, you just, you make lemonade out of the rotten lemons
I'm
flavored
gonna
like
venture to
grapes.
say at this point in life, you probably thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was acceptable,
Years ago, when I
and
was
then it was very unacceptable.
I love tequila now, but straight. But years ago, I had never drank tequila before.
Yeah.
And I was working for a radio station in Memphis, Tennessee, and we had a party that Little John was hosting. I'm drinking shots of Southern Comfort. He's drinking shots of Cuervo, just the gold. And we bet $1,000 on who could drink the most shots, but we had to switch drinks. So I had to drink the Cuervo, and he had to drink the Southern Comfort. And I had never drank
Bad bet.
on my part. It was a horrible bet.
We have 3 flush draws on the turn in this pot.
We ordered 10 shots apiece, and by the third one, I was done. I was puking in the garbage can.
Brought to you by the Department of Good Ideas. So Jacob leads into 3 opponents with the king high flush draw and a gutter here.
No, that's the ace of diamonds. There's no 2 flush draws there. Or the 8 of diamonds.
There were 3 players with 2 spades.
Oh. Why would you? I mean, you're giving credit only to King Jack there for the flush draw. And Jacob's going to win here with a pair of kings unless Dean decides to make a play at this pot.
So as long as it's not CJ Anderson's match.
It's actually a good pot to make a play at because he can represent a jack. I mean, him having a hand like Queen Jack or Jack 10 is not unthinkable here.
I don't know who scored the Denver touchdown.
I flop, you're correct. Dallas is short on good ideas.
There's no doubt about that. If you only
I venture to say that's the most accurate statement in the chat this evening.
that is probably, yeah. I got a list of stories that aren't good for streaming. But I'm still alive.
You made it.
Yeah. For worse or for even worse?
Yeah. When we get off the air, I'll tell you about.
Stay tuned.
Probably the most embarrassing situation in my life. It's not actually too bad to tell.
Man, I don't even know if I want to, like, the prelude to the story is not really engaging me to be a good audience later on.
Me neither.
5-5-10 no limit hold'em, live from the Bellagio Hotel Casino Resort Spa Sports Book Show Theater
Corner of the world. The non-smoking section of the casino.
Yes, sir.
Yes. The first game that you come to when you come in from the north side of the strip.
No, you have the.
You have a couple
what's
slot
the
machines.
Stupid
But we're the
slot machine
okay,
called?
we're the first people you see when you come in from the north
true.
side. That's why we get all those great questions like, "Where's the old theater?" Right there. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that. Because the big old sign that says, "Oh."
Folded to Nick in the hijack here. He opens the 9-5 suited. Mike just flatting the ace-king.
I don't like that flat there. Especially with...
There's a merit to disguising your hand here, but you're going to allow it to go off 4 ways now.
3 ways.
AB finds
A's
a
gonna
fold with the king-8.
Yeah. For $25 out of the big blind.
Queen 7-5. Nick is going to have a delightful c-bet opportunity when he raises the rags. Pair and a flush draw. 2 opponents that have very marginal holdings on that board.
Should be an easy hand for Mike. These guys are going to win.
Mike might be looking to make a play
He
here.
might be looking to float.
Check raise would be
I think he's
not
doing
terribly
bet,
out of
bet
line.
fold guys here. Yep, he's done with it.
This actually isn't a bad call from Alex with a pair.
Peel 1 street.
Yeah. Because so many times your opponent will c-bet that with a hand like ace-jack, ace-king.
9's up and a flush draw against the lowly effective 5th pair of 2 trays. Nick's obviously going to fire another barrel here. $160 into 270.
This hand reminds me like probably the worst slow roll I ever saw. And it was on the turn. Guy's got top 2 in the nut flush draw and takes 5 minutes to decide whether or not he's calling a guy's all-in of like $140 in a 2-5 game. Literally took 5 minutes.
I mean,
when he turned the cards over,
you can never be too careful.
when he turns the cards over, it's like one of the times you just want to reach across the table and slap a guy. Like everyone at the table's like, "What? What? Why are we here still?" Like,
I want 3 minutes of my life back.
And he could have had a set. You got top 2, nut flush draw. Any board that pairs you're winning, and you got all the spades left. It was just
the knit roll.
Yeah. And the guy had the guy that shoved in all it was stone cold on dead. He had bottom pairs. We had to make like trips with bottom pairs. It wasn't stone cold dead, but it was.
Make trips fade the flush.
Yeah, he actually had like a one-outer because he couldn't hit the spade because like.
That was the one. I just go broke.
5 minutes. It was just ridiculous.
Did I? I was not. But I thought I was.
Nick waking up to a real hand here. Fresh off his small winner with the 9-5 of hearts is going to open the 2 red 10s. 40 bucks. Cody right behind him with the 2 8s. 2 8s were favorable for him the last time he had them. Big Mike coming along on the button with the ace deuce of clubs.
I feel pretty good. I feel like my heater has finally arrived.
Dean with the ace 8 suited is going to make it a 4-way flop, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it took a while and many thousands of dollars, but I think I finally got there.
Let me see if I can redirect that plan.
That's fair.
Checks all the way through. Still 4 ways. Dean has a precarious best hand here on the turn. Big Mike with the pair of aces as well. Going to be tough for Nick to continue in this pot with 2 opponents left behind him.
Sorry, guys, I'm a hit and runner.
Big Mike deliberating what to do here with a pair of aces.
Sounds like Danny's leaving the game. He hit and ran, he said.
This is what he did to me last night. He hit and ran. He won a big pot with me and left like 2 hands later.
Just lets it go.
If he knew he was chopping, he would call.
If the hands are face up, he would. Everybody plays
But
pretty
you know,
optimal.
but
when
you
the
know, I
hands are
think that's a
face
bad
up.
play, like calling the chop pots.
Yeah, well, it's exploitable if you don't ever try and chop a pot, though. It's a difficult balancing act, not overexposing yourself. So, got a seat open in the game. I'm sure we've got a new player coming in here momentarily. And I'm pretty sure we've got some censorship on points of discussion.
Looks like Cody's under the gun here. Probably gonna fold this.
10-6 reminds me of the squeeze that Brad put on in the raise call, and he looks down at the 10-6 offsuit, decides that's good enough out of the first $5 blind.
Alex is gonna raise the $60. AB calls. Alex got trays again. Unfortunately for him, Big Mike has one of his trays.
So Big Mike limps first in with the deuce tray hearts. Alex raises his button, and AB is deliberating a 3-bet. Looks like he's just going to call the 60 with the ace-queen of spades.
Oh, and we saw Dean fold the tray, so Alex cannot make a set here. So our streak for tonight is just as good as our opposite streak last night.
Yeah. Big Mike gets out of the way with the deuce tray hearts. Jack 9-4.
This is interesting.
Check. Yeah, you know, AB might be wishing now that he took the initiative and put the 3-bet in, but now that it's gone check, he's got the opportunity to barrel if he chooses. Small bet, 110.
I was gonna say, I bet Alex calls it. I almost I felt.
That's
Oh, he
a
raised.
Kid tested, mother approved. I like this.
I do
Check
too. I
back
love
and
this
then
play.
raise after you get the guy to put a bet in. Well played.
Very well played. He's repping a big hand there, like a big overpair, or maybe even a set of jacks there. Like, played it very well.
Hey, baby.
Our new
All right.
entrant into the game is Eli,
Bellagio regular.
the local Montenegrin.
Okay. Alex tells bad jokes. Eli's are way worse.
Yeah. Well, they have the added benefit of him gently massacring the English language.
Fair enough.
With the Cheshire Cat grin as
The
he goes
stuff
along.
I actually heard him ask a girl once at a table. He said,
the look of horror on Craig's face right now, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm terrified now.
Proceed.
I think he asked the girl if both her parents were retarded.
Oh my
and she was like, what? He said, because you sure are something special. Or something to that extent. It was like, it was really ridiculous.
That
Like,
is the 2017 tragic equivalent of Casanova. Next he opens the two deuces here under the gun. Gets called by Alex with the 2 sevens. AB lets the suited queen go. Dean lets the ace high go. Eli first hand. Lets it go. Heads up to a flop. You've got an unimproved pair of
no, deuces and sevens.
under pairs.
I don't see the one.
No, pardon me. He's seat number 1. I'm talking to the. I apologize.
Alex is confused. He does easily get confused. He's probably thinking of another story to tell.
Oh, wait. I called this hand? Oh, okay. How much is it? It checked to you, sir. Oh.
No, he bet. Nick bet 40.
If I want 40, I'll call 40 now. Go lay down. You know jokes? Come on.
I got stage fright.
Again, this is BellagioPOTS. Our next broadcast will be September 24th and 25th. If you want to
Play
be
a
at the
little
shows.
higher, huh? 10, 20, 40?
10, 20, 40. Bring your bankrolls. Come out, have a good time. Craig, you'll buy drinks for everybody that night?
Why you gotta put me on the spot like that, Dallas?
He clearly thinks that this is a charity operation here. You know, we're trying to keep our 501c designation.
If you want 501,
Pretty sure
isn't
that's
it
what
a
it is.
301c?
Well, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
affiliated with any of them, so I've got no earthly idea. Folds the Dean here on the button with the 2 trays. Going to open it up. Yeah, guys, you can tweet at Bellagio Poker or send an email to poker@BellagioResort.com. Let us know. Take a look at the schedule. Let us know what you want to play. We'll get you sorted best of our ability.
So again, 24th and 25th of September is a 10, 20, 40 game.
A set.
Wow.
Dean opens his button, flops a set. Cody's got a gutter.
That's the
and
first one tonight, right?
No, the second. Cody in the 2 flopped a set of 8s in a 4-way pot.
Yeah, and the queen,
Bet and
8,
take
queen,
it.
10 board. Yes.
501c nonprofit. Don't ever question me, boys. Bet and take it here?
I flopped and right twice this evening between the 501c and also saying that Dallas has no good ideas.
Yeah.
Short on good ideas.
No, I probably don't have any good ideas. I'm not even like.
I flop him as a man of few words, but he makes them count.
He hasn't shut up tonight. I mean, what do you mean?
Oh, Dallas got mad. Somebody got mad.
Salt in the booth here.
people who know me know I never get mad. Maybe I should add that to my good
did someone in
ideas.
the chat offend you, Dallas? We're going to work on thicker skin for Dallas for season 3.
Season 3. So I have like 4 more episodes.
We're working on it leading up to season 3, you know.
Welcome to the tantrum episode of Poker on the Strip. Resident 5-year-old Dallas Scott.
No doubt about it.
Tweet him at his Fisher Price My First account at Dallas Scott 73.
Yes.
All right.
If anyone else in the chat like to make fun of Dallas this evening, just so we can toughen him up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I do. Because working in this room doesn't get you thick skin and toughen you up.
Just wait until we paint. Can we have that in English, please?
Yeah, we didn't get it over here.
I was going to New York too, remember?
I told you I'm straight curious. I told you that. You're sitting on me all day.
Shad wins. You can tweet at BellagioPoker. You can send an email to poker@BellagioResort.com. Depending on who picks up the phone, you can call the poker room. But probably your best bet is either Twitter or email.
Oh, you're gonna keep it.
Fold to Nick here on the button. He's got the ace, queen of spades opening it up.
Gotta
Cody.
love those hands on the button. It would not be out of line for Cody to 3-bet here, right? Because he could just think that Nick is trying to steal here on the button.
Yeah. It's a perfectly reasonable hand to 3-bet with.
There
and
it is.
So he does. 40 to 150. And Jacob right behind him with the ace king. This might be the first cold 4-bet we see of the night. Yeah, there it is. The cold 4-bet. $490.
Tough fold for Mike there. 4 offsuit. When it's 4 bets too.
Yeah, Nick does have a decision to make here.
He does.
I don't mind any option here.
Hey, this is the. Do they think I'm weak, so they're
Yeah.
raising, re-rate? You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really give Cody credit for having a very strong hand a lot of the time here. I mean, obviously he's going to be 3-betting a little wide with the button open.
Nick lays
decides,
down the ace king.
man, I really thought there was a good possibility he was going to funnel in the 1200 he had. Tries to. Why is it called a cold 4-bet? Because it's the first time he put chips into the pot. If he had 2-bet it and then 4-bet it, it would not be cold. Harry here in the booth is saying that he really likes the fold of the ace, queen of spades there. How much of that, young man, is the fact that the ace king is showing on the screen? I agree with you. I
agree with you. I think that's an auto fold there after his bet, 3-bet, 4-bet in front of him.
I just, with 1200 in front of me, I might just be punting off. It's just such a pretty hand.
So we just got word from our producers. We got about a half hour left on this stream. We got about 1.5 hour left remaining.
All right.
And then we're off for another. We're off next week. We'll be back the following week
The
for the
24th, the
10-20-40 game.
24th,
Seats
25th.
still
Seats available. Hit us up. BellagioPOTS.
1,500 minimum. The maximum is the roof. Cody on the button. Probably going to open the king 9 here.
I think that people think we exaggerate when we say that people sit in the 10-20-40 game for $100,000. I've seen it quite a few times, but I think most people, the minimum buy-in on that game is what?
1,500.
1,500.
Yeah, I mean the average buy-in in that game
Probably
is
about 5, 6.
5, 10,000.
Yeah.
there's always going to be a couple guys that are just going to have enough to cover, and whatever that is, they're going to have it in front of them. I got to be honest, the last time, it's been a while since I remember a guy buying in for a clean 100 dimes. But there's two names in my head. Really?
Every time.
Touche.
And you should see people's faces light up when
Oh,
he
yeah.
does. There's money on the table tonight,
I mean, but
guys.
here's the thing, though. If he calls you a clean high, if he knows he gets
Just for
like
those of you at home that aren't quite aware, I mean, it's obviously an intuitive concept, but not a lot of people come in to play 10, 20, 40 no limit looking to break even. Yeah, we'll gamble with you.
Really?
Swing on by. Nobody's doing it for the comp money.
You know, one of the best discussions I've ever heard in a 10, 20, 40 game, Craig actually witnessed this. They were talking about who was the best loser. Because one guy said that,
Like the most congenial?
Yeah. Like the other guy was like, whenever you get stuck $10,000, you always become. He's like, you're criticizing who's the. I'm a worse loser than you.
This is the thing. They weren't arguing about who the best loser was. They were arguing about who was the
worst loser. Yeah, it's like
because they can't ever compliment one another. God forbid. We've got Big Mike deciding to
I have a theory.
open.
You and I have talked about this. That as the higher stakes, I'm not necessarily positive that the play goes up. The ability to put each other on tilt goes through the roof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know your opponent's just a little bit better and put it to either better or worse he is depending on your perspective.
Sure.
Yeah. I do feel, though, like in the nosebleed games like Bobby's Room, the 600, 1200 game at Aria, there is a huge gap in talent. Like, those guys that are playing at that level, I mean, even the rich guys that just come and want to play in that game, like, there's a whole nother skill level there that, like, watching guys like Brian Rast and Scott Seaver play, to me, like, the laydowns they make, you know what I mean? And then the bluffs they make at the right time. It seems like they're always at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the true cream of the crop.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, and we're fortunate enough that we get to see those guys, you know, play every single day. Nick Schulman's another one. Like, I mean, it's amazing. I'd like to get a Bobby's Room game on here one day.
I can't imagine we ever will.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is that the software's a little difficult when we start playing 7-card stud and triple draw games. Queen for Big Mike here on the button when Cody's raised the 30 with deuces. Is that a raise or a flat?
There's
Still a 3-bet.
30 to 120. Alex with the pair right behind him.
Alex and Big Mike have been tangling a lot tonight. They're about even on who's won pots here. Wow, Yahtzee flop. Well, he's got to be worried about the straight draws, diamond draws, but it's a pretty good flop.
Well, obviously it's going to go check here, and Mike's going to deliberate a bet sizing. 260 bet.
Oh, I'm just trying to fade CJ Anderson for fantasy. That's why I said yes. He got stopped at the 1-inch line.
Unfortunately, on that board with the 2 queens, it's a little tough to get any action from the underpair.
Either way, I got the fade, so it's good.
So you hear the players discussing their fantasy football bets. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Something tonight, right?
You know what surprised me is that I've seen a lot of those one-day
DFS.
Yeah, like back being advertised. I didn't realize that their legal process had been finished.
Well,
and it's still illegal in Nevada. As far as
but
I understand.
it's just that it's
The
national
ad-
advertising.
But I thought from most states cut them out. I don't know, like.
From what I understand, a handful of states have actually brought them back.
Okay.
So,
and there's,
I think there's a lot coming down the pipeline as far as what is going to be changing with both DFS and sports betting nationwide in the future because the political tides have changed here.
Correct. Let me ask you a question. As the
When I came on Saturday to remember how to play on Hold'em, I went
how do you feel like poker's changing going forward? What do you think? You see any big changes coming? And I mean, like we added a tag team tournament to the 5 diamond. People seem to like the 3 blind games a lot more than the 2 blind
I mean,
games.
a couple things that I see. One, I think the 3 blind games gained some popularity at the higher limits, and I think that will eventually trickle down to some of the lower limits. Now, I'm not saying it's a change we're making today or tomorrow, but I think it's become more interesting to players. As far as the game got tougher, they're looking for more action. I think that's one situation. I think the biggest change that we're looking at right now, and I think everyone's on board with this as long as it's managed properly, and we've talked about this a lot of times on the stream. I think everyone is in the favor of shot clock and faster play.
Yes.
So I think
whether it's cash game or tournament,
tournaments,
I love shot clock.
You know, we've done it. We've had a great turnout for the 5 diamond event. And again, we've talked about this a handful of times on the stream, but you know, I think that no one is not in favor of faster play. I mean, we're the generation now, most people playing poker who learn to play on the internet with 10 to 15 seconds to act on your hand. So
that's what I think irritates me the most is like a lot of these guys are internet pros, and where you only get, you get 2 time banks, you get 15 seconds to act, and now you want to come play a game, and it's the Hollywooding though, which is really like
it's. A lot of guys will argue that it's apples and oranges because when you have 15 seconds online, you also have a heads-up display that shows the guy's VPIP and a bunch of other statistics, and you have guys labeled from your past history with them.
But if you're playing against a lot of regs in a room, it's you should have all that stuff in your head anyway. I mean, you know their action, you know how they're playing.
But when you talk about a guy taking a full 15 seconds online, which is agonizingly long. It's the same guy that's going to come into the poker room and take 45 seconds, which also feels agonizingly long, because it is. But, you know, he's processing the same, or trying to process the same information.
Sure, that's what we've seen in the shot clock events we run, whether it be the high rollers or some of the events at 5 diamond. I mean, first of all, the presence of the clock has just sped up the play just because it's there. It's not because it's necessarily counting down every time, but players are now more in tune to the game. They are trying to act faster and make the game faster.
Yeah.
So, and there are some issues. I mean, it's difficult, like you said, about all the information that players have online when they're making a decision. Well, you know, like we've done in the other events, the clock doesn't start until we have a full bet amount. So it's a little trickier in the live arena for sure, but nonetheless, I don't think that anyone's not on board. And again, like we talked about last night, WPT for all main tour stops is going to a action clock. What's that?
The big blind Danny as well?
No. The action clock down as the play gets later in the game.
And we're going to implement that during the 5 diamond.
So 5 diamond, that's coming down the pipeline.
Because we already implemented, once we get to 80 players, we go 8-handed for the rest of the tournament.
Correct, yep.
And so at the same time, when we go 8-handed, we're going to go to a shot clock. 30 seconds, is that what we're giving them? And then a couple, like 2 or 3 time banks?
There are a couple of time banks will be available. And we'll work out those rules with our friends at the World Poker Tour before we kick it off. But anyways, that's becoming standard. So if you talk about changes, I think that's a major one.
How do you feel about the single ante for the whole table like they did for the Super High Roller Bowl?
Again, I think it falls in the same category here. We're talking
play.
about speeding up play, so I think that everyone wants it. I think it will take an adjustment, as all things in poker do. But as far as that goes, I think that we can, if it's going to speed up the game, it's going to make less mistakes. There's going to be less, I've seen times where tournaments got stopped and we're trying to figure out who forgot the ante. That's not good for the game. It slows down. It's not player friendly. So, again, it'll take some change.
So wait, the game gets down because we don't know who's ante, but you're in favor of a tournament where everybody antes.
No, I'm in favor of the big blind ante.
Okay.
I think that's coming down the
Interesting
pipeline.
pot we got here. So folded to Dean on the button. He opens, gets called by 10 deuce of clubs. Flop top 2 against the flop flush draw, and it goes check, check. I think Dean's checking back top 2 here for a little hair of deception.
Again, like, I don't think I like checking back here. The board's too wet, right, when you got 2 pair.
He just
what
flats
do you do?
$80 on the turn.
I don't know if I like this play. Like, I don't
mind the check back on the on the flop. I mean, I guess if you're planning on calling all bets on the river, letting the guy bluff off 2 streets to you.
Can't wait for the stream to see, like,
But Cody doesn't find the trigger here.
But I feel like that's knowing the player. We haven't seen Cody do that. You know what I mean?
He has put in a couple 3 bets, but just flatting out of the blinds. It's yeah. I mean, I think it's the intuitive thing to do to just c-bet a pretty wide range of your hands. So when you do happen to flop top 2 pair, you might as well voluntarily put some money into the pot.
So, Craig, we see that quite a bit in our 10-20 and 10-20-40 games, where the big blind antes or the button antes for the whole table, and you feel like that just speeds up the game and like the flow of it.
No, I do, and I think our friends over at Aria have been working on the big blind game and the high roller events, and then they have cascaded that down to their daily events, and I think it's been well received so far. So we'll get on board with them, and again, kudos to them for giving it a try. There's certainly not scared of innovation. So, like I said, it requires some change. Players will have to get used to it. It does affect some of the individuals' play, but in the long run, if it's a faster game and more people are enjoying playing, I think it's going to be a win-win for everybody.
Speaking of Ari, I got to take a shot at Mike Williams, the operations manager over there.
Oh, boy.
How'd your Saints do tonight? That's all I'm saying.
Mike, if you're listening, don't worry about Dallas's banter here.
Yeah. He'll call me in a minute.
Once again, speaking of both Mike and Sean are being real cryptic about having some big news coming down the pipeline. Hopefully we hear in the next couple days. Stay tuned to Aria Poker social media for some big announcements coming up.
I didn't know those guys knew how to use social media.
Are you kidding me? You're kidding me, right? Now, Mike comes from, the generation before ours. Nah, I can't be that mean to him. Mike does just fine.
That hurt because Mike and I are the same age. That's just
now, here's
now
the
I got the
no,
thin skin.
Here's the question you got to ask yourself. Did I know that?
I do act much more immature.
We've already established Dallas is just a little testy tonight, so be careful with these needles, John. I mean,
he's just a heaping pile of salt.
He might toss in the towel this evening. Launches the headset into the...
no, that's going to be John's job.
I flop him says the purple jacket fits Sean. Spoiler alert.
No, I flop him. If you've watched Sean play, that cannot possibly be the case.
Yeah. That'd be like me wearing the green jacket at the Masters. John, you're going to have to teach me how to hit a driver. Like, you're a major golf player.
Swing hard. Just let the club get in the way.
I went over the top golf, and I don't think I hit a driver more than 100 feet. 100 yards.
100 feet?
Yeah, it was bad. Like I've golfed once in my life. I was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
And I quit after like the 6th hole. I became the caddy.
Yeah?
I saw something on TV you would like today. They actually have a jetpack caddy where you put your clubs on it. You get up instead of going in the cart. You take the jetpack up and go to the next hole, or to where your ball is.
That's the guys on the green adjacent to your hole's got to really appreciate that.
The wind blowing over.
No, just the sound. The Harrier jump jet flying you to the next tee box. You want to know what's crazy? I've been playing recreational golf out here for I don't know how many years. Never in my life have I walked a single round. It's just all my golf has been out here, and it's 112 degrees.
Because it's too hot.
They make you take. There's not a whole lot of places in town that let you walk. There are a few.
Did you play in Atlanta where you grew up?
Not very little. I mean,
Jacob's got an open end straight draw.
Second pair.
Second pair. The flush comes off.
So Nick raised his button here and elected to not c-bet. Jacob with the open-ended leads turn. Yeah, nobody cares about my golf. Just a flat from second pair. 3 spades on the board. Board pair river. Does Jacob fire another barrel here?
No, this is going to go check. unless Nick thinks he can get some value out of this hand. But I think
This might be a
checks.
spot where he just wants to get the showdown, doesn't get called
because
by
his hands,
worse.
he has showdown value on this hand. Yeah.
Pretty routine. No, to answer your question, Craig, I don't think I actually played a round of golf until I was probably 16, and I played just a couple times with my dad.
Do you play golf, Craig?
I'm retired.
That bad?
No. Was that good? No longer.
Yeah.
Really?
Played
hard.
Played well as a kid.
It's hard. And see, that's why I did it right. I never even played, so now I can play bad.
I know so many guys who are good golfers, but they only play golf to get to A for the betting and the poker games afterwards.
Unless you go for like a real.
To network in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Just like double pot or something.
looks like AB's left the game.
I say no. I say no.
He's had enough.
We got about 10, 12 minutes here left in the stream. We know that Dean likes to raise these small pairs. Looks like he just flatted
Just
that time,
limps
though.
up front.
Yeah.
He's done that with a few hands. I think maybe when he got raised out when he opens the Jack 7 of spades onto the gun a few orbits ago. Maybe he's a little, wary. Cody on the button this time, raising the
9-6
the
of
9-6
hearts.
of heart. Head up flop.
Let's see a big action flop, like 6, 8, 5. That's not a big action flop.
I think Dean probably has to peel one street here.
It's hard to make a pair and hold them, right?
Green jacket, gold jacket, who cares? The guy wearing it. That's the answer to that
Yes.
question.
So Spinnaker, no stream next week. We are off next week. We're coming back in 2 weeks. We'll be back on the 24th and 25th, again 7 p.m.
And again, if you want to be on that stream, you can hit us up at BellagioPOTS on Twitter or poker at Bellagio Resort.
At Bellagio Poker on Twitter.
At Bellagio Poker, I'm sorry. And then poker at BellagioResort.com. Next weekend is fight weekend, right? Triple G and Canelo.
Canelo, Triple G, it can be exciting.
It's going to be a crazy weekend in town.
It's,
I feel like
it's Mexican Independence Day, too.
Yeah, I feel like this fight, though, should have gotten more hype than Mayweather-McGregor because it's going to be a much better fight.
That's irrelevant.
I know. You got the
Talking
names.
about which
and
should be hyped more?
Right.
Which will be the better fight? It's not even close. It's
Yeah.
going to be the upcoming.
Yeah. Like, this is going to, I think Triple G
be a
and
great
Canelo is
fight.
going to be a really, really good fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of people excited about this fight.
So Dean managed
Myself
to get this to
included. Yeah, I am.
showdown.
Are you going?
Just
I'm
check
going
calling
with the
flop bet. It's
You're
pretty
going?
good.
Yep.
Must be nice to be the director of poker and racing sports operations.
Man, he's getting good. We just had to make fun of him a little bit tonight. He got his,
A little
He
bit?
got his act together.
I don't think he got enough grief yet.
He's
and
always,
I got 2 weeks to do my homework and come back and
With a lot of material.
really just get clean under, subcutaneous.
I know your wife, your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law.
Yeah, go after him. I don't
Yeah.
care. They ain't me.
No, I'm going after them for
you.
information
Oh,
about
okay.
you.
Oh no, everybody knows everything about me. I'm an open book.
So, in light of fight week, when we come back, the gloves are off, boys.
His sister-in-law is actually my best friend, so there's a lot of information I'll get out of this. And if she knows I'm going to needle John
Your
with it,
sister-in-law
yes,
is
my best friend.
friends with Dallas?
Yes.
Is this true, or is he claiming
Well,
it?
here's the thing: at least one party to this relationship claims. So
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I
Does
can't.
she know your best friends?
I cannot speak for the other half of this best friend relationship.
Oh, those are some other bad decisions.
Big Mike folds all the way to him, left of the button, opening the royal draw, the Queen Jack of Spade. Alex chooses to defend with
9-4
9-4 diamonds. Dean
I
comes
told
along,
you Alex
King
would
10.
play some hands tonight.
Gin.
Gin.
Who said that?
Alex.
Alex.
Uh,
I think we're gonna have to have
You
Alex
can't
back
say
on the
gin
stream.
though and check.
Yeah,
you can't say
check's
gin and
throw.
check.
So we've got a gutter for Dean versus the jacks up for Big Mike here. Alex going to get out of the way.
So
Dean's not going to peel on the paired board here.
Did Big Mike come out? He flew out just to play in the stream. Is that correct?
That's
correct.
my understanding.
From Brunswick, or is it Brunswick or New Brunswick, New Jersey? I don't know.
Very
Like,
cool.
Are there two? East Brunswick.
Brunswick,
Are
East
there
Brunswick.
3?
well, they're not all in the same state, but there's like I don't know which is which. Like,
How many Brunswicks are there? I know there's a Brunswick in Georgia.
and there's a New Brunswick. I know there's a Brunswick in Georgia.
Harry confirms there are many Brunswicks.
Our crack researcher here, Harry, just Googled that for us.
Shout out to Harry. He is our moderator, and what else would we call him? He's kind of partly the brains behind our stream and our chat, and helps us out here.
You're
in the
giving
booth.
him way
too much credit. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and infer the wizard behind the curtain.
Wait, that's a good way to put it. Wizard behind the curtain.
See, I thought
The
Matt
glue that
was the
holds us
wizard
together.
behind the curtain.
Our producer, Matt Lutterby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the more probably. I would call Harry the glue that holds us together. Anyways, point being, I want to give a shout out to the guys that make this happen every week.
I was thinking that Harry's like Matt is more Oz and Harry was more Dorothy, like somewhere in there.
Another solid look cast across the booth here.
I like how Dallas.
All right, hold on.
I'm the
hold on.
Tin Man.
That must make Dallas the straw man if he only had a
I'm
brain.
the Tin Man.
I can smell it over here.
I don't have any hearts.
I like that.
Who's the coward in the booth?
I like
That's
that.
what I
I
want.
like that. I like that Dallas finally fired a shot tonight and did it to a guy who couldn't fire back because he had no microphone. Man, oh man.
Yeah, I see.
He's got all the chat. He could talk all the crazy mess he wants to on the chat.
Oh, that's true. He can fire back in the chat. Anyway, shout out to the team that puts this together every week. It's been great putting on BellagioPOTS.
This is by far, like, I love working here at the Bellagio, but this is by far my favorite part. Like, I love Twitch.
This is
Like,
right up your
Damn
alley.
enjoyable.
yeah.
I just passed last 2 weeks ago 12 years at Bellagio.
Holy cow!
September 1st.
You're committed.
September 1st, 2005.
Committed.
The building.
It's impressive.
So it begs the question: when are you going to go out and get yourself a real job?
All the money they pay him, why would he ever do that?
That's true. I feel the same damn way.
Got the medium bucks.
The medium. We know your soon-to-be wife makes all the money.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, I didn't know that signing the EO list every day was that lucrative. Top pair twice here.
Longer hair.
Top pair gut shot.
Are you you're not from Vegas? I won't see you next
I
time.
am, yeah. Not originally, but I've been
So
here.
Fultz Alex on the button. He opens for 40, gets defended by Nick.
I play
Check calling.
usually, Caesars
Top
or,
pair.
I mean, sometimes I play here, but
You play 5 times?
no, usually
Probably going to slow the action.
If you play in Vegas for 2 months,
Nope, Alex is going to continue to fire.
I'll give you $500. I mean, Bellagio, not Vegas, Bellagio. If you play 2-5 Bellagio for 2 months, I'll give you $500.
I'll book that. No, seriously, yeah.
Did you catch the bet?
We'll work on the defense.
Eli's offering a bet to Big Mike.
100 now, and then
I thought he was actually offering the steak, Big Mike.
after 1 month, I'll give you 200,
I think it's a
150, and then after 2 months, I'll give you another 150.
Jack?
stay in poker last longer. You're gonna have to confirm that for later.
You sure? You promise? Because I don't know.
We'll talk after the game.
It's going to be a chop pot here, right?
Jack, ace, 9, 8.
Very interesting.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to muck
I
my
thought you were saying.
Good night, Floppin.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to muck it when you wrapped it. I was like, oh.
Any Ohio State fans on here?
Harry might need
I'm
you
a
to,
Big Ten fan, so like.
Harry might need you to block someone else before the night's over.
For those of you playing along at home.
You each make $5.
So
Go ahead, John. Go
All
ahead.
right, all right.
And waitress's phone
Young Mr. Lump here hails from that part of the world.
Does that go to me?
Might not be too thrilled with the inquiry.
You know, I'm not through with Baker Mayfield. Like, if you're going to go out there and do that, own it. Don't go and apologize afterwards.
Rough start to the season. We know that.
You kind of felt that after the first game, though, right? Like, they They should
Yeah,
have
it wasn't
blown that. There
resounding.
should have been a blowout there.
Sure.
They couldn't cover the 20-point spread.
Let us dispel the notion that Spinnaker and Shat didn't know what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I think so.
You're like, I gotta see if I look as good on TV as I do.
Band hammer going down.
Dean's got king queen on the button. Easy raise. And he's gonna get a walk. No. Cody's this is a standard defend, yeah.
The double suited Jack 10.
Can we see a Jack 10 flop or king? There you
It's
go.
not a bad one. Gutter
No.
versus gutter.
Nah, gutter versus
Oh,
middle
pair.
pair.
King queen. Thinking it's queen jack.
So then that's the hand to jump.
And Cody will peel, right? The bet's only.
How deep are they here? Better part of 2K.
I mean, I live here. I'm from Indiana.
It's a question of if Cody thinks, you know, he can get a guy to stack off with a one pairish hand.
When I come,
That's the question, right? When people always say, "How could you play that hand?"
Implied
The
odds.
answer is, "I thought I could get all your chips."
Yeah. Just check folds it.
do what?
Round by round.
Looks like he check folded for a $50 bet, which is a little more than half the pot, but
Oh yeah.
It's a question if you think you can get it all if you get there.
no. When Dean has
It was a 3-tone flop, right? It wasn't. There's no flush draw.
no 3-tone, I like that. Sounds much better than rainbow.
Well,
Or Badoogie
forgive me
flop.
for getting the word rainbow for 30 seconds of my life.
Or we call it Badoogie flop from now on.
It's hard to get that going.
I like that Badoogie flop.
All right, you can proceed.
I guess technically it's got to be a Badoogie on the turn, but I mean,
But it's to play PLO players that are willing to play around in the limit.
They don't have it right now.
No one else wants to play with us. We have less than an hour. We're a good group of guys.
we don't disagree with that, Mike. You guys are good.
Yeah,
good
but
guys.
you can't claim that about yourself. That's the catch.
You can claim anything you want to about yourself. You can give yourself your own nickname. You can do whatever you want. Doesn't mean it's true, but you
Yeah.
can do it.
I'm good enough. I'm smart
Strong
enough.
And
Gosh darn it, people like me.
We probably got a lot of viewers that are too young to understand that reference. Just Google Saturday Night Live and Al Franken. Back when Saturday Night Live was, well, it's getting pretty good now. They've come back.
So Nick just completed out of the small blind here, and Cody's going to raise.
Dean is folding.
What just happened? Raise and take it? All right, that makes way more sense. Here we go. Jacob gets out of the way. Is Nick thinking about a limp 3-bet here or something? No, just coming along. 70 a man. In a van down by the river. Close enough.
It was a 0% chance on folding.
Set.
Wow. That's the
Jack
third
of
one
hearts.
tonight.
I think that's how that's going to be my thing. Anytime I see a second flop, I'm just going to shout set. People will really love that. Check, check. Fireworks possible here on this turn card.
Yeah, Cody's got top pair, third nut flush draw, fourth nut flush draw, excuse me, against the set.
So after a raise to 70, it's a bet of 70 again, no, 90. Just a call from the pair of aces.
Bad
Not the
river
greatest
card.
river card.
Again, guys, this is BellagioPOTS. We'll be back on September 24th and 25th. I'm your host, Dallas Scott. Co-host is John Harden. And, of course, the director of poker and race and sports operations, Mr. Craig Lump, is here with us tonight. And if you want to be on the stream on the 24th, it's going to be a 10-20-40 game. And we still have seats available. Hit us up at poker@BellagioResort.com. Or you can hit us on at Bellagio Poker on Twitter. We will get you guys as many people as we can in the game. We will start must moves. 10, 20, 40 game should be really, really fun. I'd like to see a lot of East Coasters and Florida guys coming out here for that game.
I'm looking for a nice cross-section of high-stakes poker society to come through. You know, it's one of those games. It's just big enough to guys will travel. You know, I mean, we had a couple guys travel for the 5-10, but you know, you get some
And honestly, like, if you're a good poker player, you play, the games around your area really well, but nobody knows who you are, and you want to make a name for yourself, we're going to give you that opportunity.
Yeah.
Because she plays the file, she always buys in for file.
No matter how you play, good or bad, you'll get an opportunity to make some type of name for yourself.
It's a good deal for her then. What's the question? No, I'm saying I like the strategy.
It's like, do we have a straddle on here?
No. Dean limped first in. Nick just overlimps the button.
No, I think we do. Looks like.
No.
Oh,
6 ways. 5 ways, $50.
Nobody flops anything.
So
Got
we got
shot for Nick.
We got a pair of queens and a gutter.
Yeah.
Top pair for Dean, who limped first in.
Nick's gonna peel here. Yeah.
Head up to a turn.
Everybody's playing really cautious. Nobody wants to play full on hard.
Did Eli just say everybody's playing cautious and he hasn't played a hand yet?
Yeah, he's. Is he taking a flop? That's the question.
I think one.
Yeah, where he like completed a small blind.
Yeah, right.
You don't get credit for that one, Eli.
No.
Nothing stays up. Everything comes down.
So Dean elects to check the turn. He's going to get a street of value out of Nick, accidentally or not. Calls.
It's an interesting lead-out bet there, though, right?
Pair of 6s here for Nick on the river. Now he's got some showdown value. He might want to. Wow, this is going to be interesting. It looks like Dean's going to go bet. No, okay.
That's a different prop bet.
Checks twice. Now Nick, he's more likely to check back here now that he's made a pair, honestly.
Shave a handlebar mustache.
Back to the having showdown value in the hand. If he thought that Dean was on a diamond draw or something, a pair of 6s might be good. And he's going to. He checked and Dean shows him the queen. Did Eli just criticize the queen 9 play too?
Did you just limp that hand? Maybe we should.
I appreciate the queen 9 there. I appreciate guys who are willing to limp a little light, open a little light, put some, play for some pots and not wait ABC.
I mean, it's not the most out of line thing to do. You want to take a flop, you're willing to limp and then call a raise. And hopefully, have some relative position.
That's a great bar.
But you don't want to, open and get a pot blown up against you, maybe. There's a lot of stigma against the open limp these days. In Soviet Russia, Queen 9 limps you.
Wasn't there a really big one?
I'm reading chat. Don't give me that look, Harry.
There was one on.
Speaking of the open limp, Jack 7 of hearts.
Gets raised by better hearts. Oh, Big Mike is calling, right?
Heart trifecta here.
Nope.
Small raise, $40.
Well, we know there's not going to be a straight flush. Well, there could be. Nope. There's a deuce of hearts. No straight flush coming. Probably no hearts coming either. Right? That's 7 hearts pre-flop.
It's just gonna be me and you playing at the spot.
The biggest one called Luigi's Pop.
Pair versus no pair.
The worst flush draw always makes a pair.
Does Nick see bet here with?
Yes, he has to.
Please flop hearts.
Do you see this giant microphone right next to
Dean's kind of owned Nick tonight, though. So
it's going to be tough for Nick to put another $1 into a pot.
But he can't win without it. I mean,
Yeah. Shut down.
Oh, yeah.
checks.
I'm not trying to send out the wrong message. I'm just trying to be a little humorous about it.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Yes, no, I'm not.
The worst
Another
stuff is
understatement by Alex. I'm trying to be a little humorous. Checks through. Dean wins with pair.
It'll say like message deleted instead of allowing it to go.
I still can't beat you.
And they have a nice little auto chat.
To confirm your statement, Nick looks up and says, "I still can't beat you."
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes,
Jack
right?
7 of hearts left up front. Yeah, it's a bad flop for the ace. Ace tree.
We're pretty open.
King Queen X just gets.
You want to see the poker world go crazy? Next month, China's threatened to shut down Bitcoin exchange.
Really?
That might be worse than Black Friday for poker.
Everybody will get into Ripple or whatever the hell
Yeah.
the new thing is. You know, I hear there's this thing called the U.S. dollar that's doing okay these days. Maybe some guys will buy some of them.
And gold is always safe, right?
Cody in the cutoff with the offsuit ace. Can't resist.
Better without a phone. At least we get to talk. Right?
It's true.
Oh,
Up to Dean to defend. Better ace. Best hand in the big blind, just calling heads up to a flop.
You like that play with the ace just calling against the button raise or the
It's fine.
the cutoff raise?
I mean, do you really want to blow up a pot out of position with ace-8 offsuit by 3-betting?
I agree. I think they should designate like
I don't like to give somebody else control of a pot.
some time of the week or the month that you just leave yourself at home.
It's just such a bad hand.
They have one.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's like a day or like a week, you know, like a family week.
No phone.
No phone. Yeah.
Hey, deuces, we're good.
Death to the penny. Good chat.
You gonna play hand today or what?
She does, man.
He's on Tinder.
You gonna blind yourself to death.
Straddle.
That's what I'm talking about.
Speaking of pennies, did you know that in every single foreign
Oh, look at that.
military base,
Oh my goodness.
they don't have pennies? Everything is rounded to the nickel. It's not cost effective for them to ship the currency out. So
It's not cost. It cost them like 1.7
Oh, yeah.
cents to make a penny. Like
yeah, there's actually a pretty big lobby in the
they're trying to get
guys
rid of
that-
it.
The guys that make the guys that make the zinc billet that they make pennies out of.
That would be a good time to pick up those aces.
Millions of dollars in lobbying funds
Or queens,
to
but the queens
defend
don't.
the penny.
That way you can just make it like 2 million. You
No
know.
one wants the
2 million?
penny.
I don't like change. Like
Feels like I know somebody a lot.
I'm about to go on a rant here.
I think you
So
just
there-
did, John.
Well, no, there's unfortunately for you guys, there's more to it.
The good news is
There used to be a half penny in circulation.
Right.
It was discontinued when it's
is this the hardened fact of the night?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I
Yeah, it's
almost,
already been
I
hashtag.
almost,
Okay.
I almost got through the whole night with that one. The half penny was discontinued. Wow, you're giving me the old hardened fact. Thank you, Harry. Was discontinued when it had current value relative to about 7 cents. So if we discontinued currency in line with that, we would have no nickels, let alone no pennies. So
What did he just say?
I lost.
we shouldn't have a nickel, let alone
It's
a
late.
penny.
We're at the end of the stream. I don't know.
I
what he's
think
talking
10-cent pieces are the most useless pieces in the world. I think $10 bills are the worst bill. Like
You got something against 10?
Yeah, what's
yes,
on tens?
I don't know. I just even fives will get you there. 20s. Like,
There used to be a half cent. It's no longer. In 2017,
do you know what the fastest animal on the planet is?
blue whale.
No.
All right, we just got notice from our producers. This will be the last hand of the evening, last hand. Again, we're back in 2 weeks, September 24th and 25th.
It's the peregrine falcon.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
Wait, what?
The peregrine falcon.
It's what?
Oh,
fastest
the fastest
animal
animal in the world.
planet. Oh. It flies at like 320 miles an hour.
I didn't know what you were talking about. You said that. We got
You know how
distracted.
fast 320 miles an hour is? No, it goes like 320 kilometers an hour. You want action?
I don't know. I learned this in my son's like 6th grade field
We
trip
ain't
to the
talking about your
wilderness.
son's field trip. We're talking about a bet, son. It's ballpark of 160 miles an hour. African or European? I got you, Spinnaker.
We're gonna look it up.
Whoa!
Actually-
are you
actually,
looking it up right
We're gonna
now?
send it. We're gonna send it to Harry.
Harry's got it.
All right, that's a fucking push. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fired. Okay. Who's taking over Bobby's room now that you won't be here?
Man, it's been nice knowing you, fellas. I'll be in. The
I don't think the FCC.
I'll be in the chat if you need me.
I don't think the FCC watches
that one.
Yeah,
I
internet
made.
streaming.
How long did I make it? I made it a whole season.
One whole season. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
And
true.
one, yeah,
And
and
one
it's
episode.
one episode.
Yeah.
It's
I
funny-
almost
so Dallas,
made it.
who's filling in for John going forward?
Last night they said last hand.
Harry's already got to replace. It's funny though. You know, I work at a radio station here in Vegas, Q100.5. We just got this like 14-page memo of stuff we cannot do on the radio anymore.
And that was one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys,
Again,
that's it for this evening. Thanks for tuning in to Bellagio Poker on the Strip.
you want to come in? Next show is 24th and 25th of September. Hit us at Bellagio Poker on Twitter or poker at BellagioResort.com. We'd love to have you come out and play in this, the stream with us. Or just come out and have a couple drinks with us.
Or just
Craig's
listen to
buying.
me curse indiscriminately. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Thank you guys for coming
Good
out
night.
again.
What's up?
We could keep it 5 cents.